What's the first thing women notice? Your face. That's why you got to take care of it. Simple things like getting a haircut, grooming your face, and brushing your teeth is important. But there's one thing guys miss and that women always notice. It's when a guy isn't taking care of his skin. That's why I'm so excited to have T. Shanley as a sponsor of today's video. T. Shanley simplifies the process of taking care of your skin. They provide you with all the products you need and nothing you don't. Seriously, I don't think some of you believe me when I tell you how much implementing a quality skincare routine will improve your confidence in all aspects of your life. I recommend you start with the level 1 system, which comes with all the basics: daily face wash, exfoliating scrub, an AM moisturizer with a SPF 20 and a PM moisturizer. But and to make it dead simple for you guys, they provide an instruction card in every box that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. But because T just sponsoring this video, they're offering you an amazing deal. Just click the first link in the description and get 40% off your first skincare system and free gift. Plus, as a member, you'll get 20% off for life. By the way, one of their new gift options is a silicone body scrubber, which is a $20 value and a complete game changer. Once you use this, you'll never go back to a regular loofah ever again. So don't wait any longer. Click the first link in the description to start your skincare journey today.
It's go time. What's going on? What's going on? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Welcome to Lapeef Wednesdays. I'm going to introduce the crew. We got Miss Taken, Viz, Ari, Simone, Hint, Aisha, and myself from Lapeef JR. Welcome to all. I like the hairstyle there, Dad.
Thank you. I made a wig and I installed it myself.
Oh, okay. I'm about to see if we can get you to make some wigs for some other folks, man. See if we can get the wig epidemic going. Anyhow, good to see you guys, man. Happy Wednesday. See what we got in the chat. Fishing to Fit. We got Tay. Boel, what's going on? Christopher Matthews, McChris, Mrs. Hink, Jolie. How y'all doing? I want to thank everybody that is attending. And if you are catching us on the replay, do me a favor, hit that like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Get the housekeeping out the way. Shout out to the sponsor, T. Shanley, Uncomplicated Skincare for Men, 40% off along with a free gift. And if you become a member, you get 20% off for life. That link is in the description. Make sure you guys take care of your skincare. Get a skincare routine going on. Summer's right around the corner. You might as well go ahead and train your skin so that when you're doing all that sweating and stuff, you can be ahead of the game. We got to combat this dirt, all this scum, and all this wickedness when it coming out of skin. So let's make sure we feel the tease, as I always say. Hit the like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We'll go to get this show started. Y'all ready? Aisha, you there? Viz, y'all there? Make sure y'all don't miss this clip.
I think Viz is probably working on his install too, like Lady Di, like Di did.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and get it started. I think Viz may be there. Viz, you there? Did you put something in the back chat? Okay. Okay, Viz has got to catch up then. Anyhow, we're gonna go ahead and get into this Joe Budden.
You muted yourself, Lapeef.
Ari, are you familiar with Joe Budden? No?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Well, Joe Budden is a rapper back in the day. He doesn't really rap anymore, but he does have a podcast. He has been connected with a few celebrities as far as dating. I think he might have done some reality TV, right? Reality TV shows? Yeah. So he has a podcast. I do have a clip that I'm going to play because one of his co-hosts got into an argument. Now, they do have some history, get into arguments. The guy by the name of Queen's Flip, he has been off some shows throughout their duration. Joe Budden did have 2 previous co-hosts, and then they fell out, and then he did a rebrand, rebuild, and he have 3 other guys, I believe. So in this particular situation, Joe Budden and his podcast co-host Queen's Flip got into a heated argument, in a video circulating on social media. It's unclear what exactly sparked the war of words, but the video starts with Budden telling Queen's Flip not to tell him what he's allowed to say. Queen's Flip fires back, explaining to Joe Budden that he's just saying how he feels and accuses Budden of being too negative. The other co-host remains silent in the background while eating some food. So fans, everybody has been talking about it, and I'm going to play the clip. I think this clip is relevant because it puts things in perspective on how we communicate. And before the show started, we was talking about how men communicate. Is this how men communicate? What does this look like? We had a show last night, and I got a lot of texts, emails, and DMs about how the men conducted that conversation last night. If you haven't checked it out, I strongly suggest you watch part 1 and part 2. Part 2 was yesterday at King Talk. But I'm going to run this clip, and then we'll go ahead and react to it.
About anything I feel like saying, what the I feel about.
My fault, champ.
What the fuck you talking
I'm talking to you. I said I'm talking to you
my
twice.
response to that is, you don't check my words.
I do check your words when you talk
can't
to
check
me.
my words.
Based off of what?
You can't
Based
check-
off of what? Because you paying me? I'm a
No,
grown man.
because I'm
Based
an
off of
adult
what?
and you can't check
But
my
you saying
words.
stupid about me and you keep doing
Then
that.
respond in words.
Come on, man.
But you or nobody else in this world can tell me how to talk. Who the are you talking
I'm telling you how you making me feel in the moment.
Then say that. Don't say you can't say that. You ain't.
That's just a
say the I want to say.
Alright, I hear you.
The success of my Who the are you talking to?
'Cause you always
I ain't
say
one of them
the
envious in the street.
I didn't say you were
Your
envious.
success don't bother me.
But you always say something
Stop
negative.
talking to me
But
like
you always
your
say
success
negative.
bothers
Don't
me.
touch
As
me.
if I ain't been one of the
But you-
biggest advocates of your
But you
success.
always say something
Watch your
negative. You highlight negativity, You highlight negativity, period. You a negativity highlighter. You talking when you was mad at me and that I thought with the girl, not one time you talked about it, with the battle rap last time. Not one time. You highlight everything negative, You talking about when it come to me? It's negative.
rap?
Cracking jokes. Cracking jokes,
What
nigga.
battle rap?
And I'm not arguing with you, right? I gotta go.
What
I'm not
battle
arguing with
rap
my man, you
girl
right.
are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about.
You gotta, it doesn't matter. You highlight negativity. You know what I'm saying. Now you gonna go on the and say, yo, you set up.
No,
knowing
I'm
how
not.
big this is. Stop, bro.
Flip, you're wrong. I'm not saying anything.
You just
like
said that on the
Yeah.
camera. Yo, you set him up to put the on me. Knowing how
Okay.
powerful your voice. No, don't take it out. I want it in there, but you
This
always
is
do that.
just here. Please don't think I'm saying something because the camera's rolling. I said that over there. I'm not saying nothing because the camera's rolling, nor am I going to go on air and say that. You're wrong. You're
I
wrong.
don't want to talk about it.
Okay. Am I still frozen? Okay. All right. Have to plug in the Ethernet cord back in. Anyway,
Yeah,
As you
it just
guys-
looks a little cloudy, like a little choppy, but you're actually moving now.
okay. I'm gonna see if I can work on that. But that was an interesting interaction. My thoughts are, it's draining. I don't have time to go back and forth with anyone, and it looks like a lot of energy was wasted in that interaction. But I'm gonna go to you first, Hank. Is this how men conduct themselves? What are your thoughts about what you just seen? You think it's a better way it could have been handled in relations to even the conversations we were having last night? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, look, I'm from the South, and we talk big like that. We talk shit, but at the end of the day, we know we know what lines we're not gonna cross and what lines to cross. And so as men, we talk like that. So that's what I seen right there. That's no big. I don't know if you also noticed that Joe Budden start the comments voice and kind of scale back because he's seeing how far it was getting. He said, let me take it down just a little bit because it's going there, and that's not what he wants. So that's usually what happens with us. Now, if it's some situation where two people don't like each other, yeah, it's not gonna go. The volume's not gonna get turned down. It's gonna get turned up, and it's gonna go left, and then that's when hands are being thrown. I'm not surprised by this interaction because it's how most men talk. We had that conversation. We go back and forth. We'll hug it out and say, man, I was just bullshitting. I probably went too far, and we apologize for it and keep it moving.
All right. I'm gonna go to you, Ari. So that was Joe Budden. He was the guy that was on the right, and Queen's Flip was the guy that was on the left. What were your thoughts about the interaction?
Do we know what was said? Like, what was the
He
thing
said
that?
that Joe Budden said on camera that he set someone up.
Okay. Because I feel like that kind of reaction is a little bit more understandable to me if there is like a factual truth about what happened. Because sometimes like people will get too emotional and a little bit too confrontational when it's literally just about feelings or opinions. But if it's a question of you're lying about something that I did, then I can maybe a little bit more easily understand that kind of reaction, I guess.
All right. So do you typically, the men that you've seen, do you typically see men interact like that? And I know Hink said he's from the South. They tend to get a little bit rowdy. One
Yeah.
of the gentlemen may level set it a little bit, and it doesn't go to combat typically, especially if they have a cool relationship. Go ahead.
Based on the community that I grew up in and the fact that I'm half native, like we do get kind of fiery and loud. It's more likely to happen with people that you know, I think, too, because like we have that foundational relationship that things can get a little bit heated and then we'll still probably be able to come back from it. The problem is like if it gets that heated and you don't know each other very well, like it very easily could escalate into something neither of you want to happen. So I think it depends, but yeah, I don't know that the conversation or the level of emotion there was unusual. That's not to say that it's right, but yeah.
All right. Go ahead, Aisha.
Oh, sorry. So my view is that he's just a rude and disrespectful person. Like people, I mean, I've heard locker room talk. Like I literally was the HR manager for a plant, right? So I hear how guys talk to each other when they're at work and even when they have disagreements. I think that Joe Budden is just like always over the top with everything that he does. And I think that he was rude and he was disrespectful. And I think that neither one of them could hear each other because they were both yelling at the top of their lungs. So no one really got their point across. I seen the clip earlier and I was kind of shocked that it was even circulating on social media because I just don't think that it represents Black men in the best light. And but those are the things that seem to be popular.
Okay. So if you're saying somebody going back and forth like they, even if they men, because there was a reference as far as that's how that when men do that, they look like women or they acting like women. So would you consider that interaction as being sassy?
Yes, I think that men are supposed to be able to control themselves a lot more than women. I feel the same way when I see a man that's drunk. I feel like that's woman behavior. Like when you out drunk, stumbling over yourself, like men are supposed to be in control of themselves. So I just, yeah, I could see that being like a woman trait to sit and bicker and argue and go back and forth. That's not really a masculine trait.
Interesting. All right, go ahead, Di.
I just felt like it was two people that was emotional. It's like even the dude said, he said my feelings were hurt. Like I'm trying to express my emotions to you, you know. And Joe Budden made a point. Express your emotions, but don't tell me as a man what I can and cannot do. Like you can ask something of me, but we know when it comes to men are leaders and men don't like to be told what to do. I feel like it's okay for men to have emotion. Women, technically, they say men don't gain emotional maturity till about 30, you know? And I feel like when you know somebody, like they obviously known each other for a while, this wasn't the dude's first experience, he said, with Joe Budden. And I feel like when you know people and things like that happen and people speaking negatively on you and it's somebody you know you're around, it's gonna make you feel some type of way emotionally. I felt like Joe Budden response was like because I really don't like him either. I'm gonna be honest.
What?
Because when I watch a lot of his clips, every time someone tries to tell him how his actions are affecting them, that's how he responds. Like no accountability at all. And I don't think that's just a woman's trait. I think that's people who just lack emotional intelligence, not lack emotional intelligence, because you can trigger somebody, trigger a space that a person hasn't healed and they will respond that way. But I just feel like his feelings was hurt and he didn't know how to express that. You know, I feel like a lot of men don't get the chance to be emotional. And I think Joe Budden, that's when he really started to calm down too. When dude was, I'm trying to express my emotions to you. Like, bruh, you do this to me. You have a platform. And he's giving him factual stuff now. Now he's not just talking about how he feel, but he started giving them details. And Joe Budden like, okay, like maybe I should listen. I don't know if he did because Joe Budden never listened. But I don't know. I wouldn't consider it a woman trait. I would consider it it's emotions. We're all human. We all have emotions. We all express them differently. And as men, they were able to calm themselves down. Like, okay, this ain't getting nowhere right now. And they were able to, like, you know, dissipate instead of fighting. So I commend them for that. But Joe Budden, he just lacks accountability. I think that's the only reason why he got upset like that.
Okay. All right, go ahead, Viz. Did you see the clip?
I didn't see it, but I heard it though. I can't really speak too much on Joe Budden just because I don't watch his show. I've never really been a fan of him. You know, the only song that I know is "Pump It Up." You know, that's all I know about Joe Budden. But I would say I would agree with Hank. I mean, I'm from Chicago. Me personally, I've always been a laid back guy. I'm not one to do all the hooting and hollering. I'll do a little bit of it, but at some point we got to step outside. You know, if you one of the homies, if we putting on some gloves, throw the gloves on. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna settle it like that. But to go back and forth, yeah, I'm not one to do that. I couldn't say that it's sassy. I wouldn't say that that's sassy. That's just how it is. You know, some men are just simply like that, and that's the way that they interact. I think it's more so a part of what we would say is the alpha male thing, right? Somebody has to show dominance in a sense, or at least let everybody else know, plus this person know that, look, this is what it is, and we not going past this line. And if we got to, then I'm gonna show you what it's about. You know what I'm saying? So I think that it's something that men do. Now, to do it on camera, you know, I'm kind of with that. You know, if anything, hey, let's step outside and talk about this. You know, much rather than putting on the show for everybody. That's where I would draw the line, me personally. But I mean, there's some guys that they get off with that. You know, they get off with causing chaos and turmoil. You know, that's where they feel comfortable at. So they're always going to do that. And that was one thing that I learned too, really, while I was bouncing with me doing security for so many years, is some guys that soon as they get some that incredible Hulk in them, you know, they Superman now. You know, now they want to pick a fight with everybody, but that the whole time they can't fight. You know, so it's an ego thing at the end of the day, because if we can't sit here and have a conversation as two grown men, then hey, we got to knuckle up and take it outside.
All right. Go ahead, Miss Taken. What was your thoughts about the interaction? Just how men conduct themselves when you see a man going back and forth? Do they have to hash that out, get it out of them?
Yeah, I think you do have to hash things out, but I also think you need to know your audience as well, right? So I think that's where the emotional intelligence piece come in. And at some point there is going so it doesn't get to the point where it becomes, you know, physical. Somebody is going to have to take the reign on trying to like bring it down so it don't go to the next level. But I do agree with Di as well, is that when emotions are involved, it can get loud. And that's not to say that men can't have emotions. That's why I kind of disagree with Aisha in the sense of saying that is sassy when, you know, men argue. I just think it's a part of human nature that at times you're gonna get emotional. So to say, oh, men could never get emotional, that's where I have an issue with, is because on the one hand, we talk about wanting men to show more emotion and but then on the other end, then we're fussing about them when they do and then call them sassy. I don't think we could, you know, have it both ways. But yeah, that's it. I mean, people argue.
Do you think there's something to be said for getting it off your chest though? Because that kind of situation, like, people build resentment if you don't express the emotions, right?
And I think that's probably why when he first said it, if you notice in the argument, he said, "You've done this before. You've done." So that means he's already been feeling like, okay, Joe Budden, you've been saying negative things behind me. It's something, and that's the issue. Sometimes men, they don't want to say how they feel immediately because then they feel like, oh, if I'm responding to this emotion, I can come off sassy or feminine because I feel some type of way about what you said, when they just probably feel like, oh, well, maybe I should have the mind frame of not caring what you think. I shouldn't care what you're thinking. But after you build a relationship with a person, it's just natural to care what they think, you know? So I think him holding it in and probably is what caused him to respond that way.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Sometimes we do find ourselves in heated discussions. It's just kind of hard to predict how somebody may respond. So if you are the aggressor, my concern would be what's going to tip that person over to the edge, because I've seen it. Even though I know he say men they're just being men, I've seen some people take it personal real quick. They just take everything personal and they have these like trigger words. So if you are saying something like your mother, or, you know, bitch, or you weak, these can sometimes be trigger words for people, and you don't know what they're capable of if you are in front of them. So I don't know, man.
I think Joe Budden's trigger word was the fact that he was trying to tell him what to do. I think if dude was able to express himself like, hey, bro, I don't like when you say this, Joe Budden would have probably been able to receive his message. But Joe Budden, like, regardless of how you feel, bro, you're not finna tell me what to do. I don't care about what you're talking about. But when dude started getting into detail about what he was talking about, Joe Budden kind of calmed down. But before, Joe Budden, like, regardless of how you feel, bro, you ain't finna tell me, a grown-ass man, what to do.
It'll be easy.
Let me say that first. JR ain't shit. But I still love the brother.
But it also looked like to me too, like when I do think Flip was right in telling Joe how, if this is what he was talking about in regards to you're not going to tell me what to do, is how you're going to talk to me. I think everybody has the right to express that expectation of the way that you're going to express yourself to me. You're not going to talk to me any old kind of way. And if you do, it's my right to check you on that and say, no, you're not going to talk to me like that. Now,
like
whether or not, yeah, exactly. So whether or not Joe received that, Flip was well within his right and should have checked him on that to let him know, like, if we're going to have this conversation, that's cool. but you're not going to talk to me like that. And I think that was part of him also let him know, what, you think you're going to talk to me any kind of way because you pay me? Like that's that's not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely think he was right in saying what he said to Joe. And I think Joe should have took that into consideration because, you know, Joe do be flexing. He does.
Okay.
I think if he would have led with the first part and then said that, maybe he would have been a little bit more receptive. Like led with, hey, bro, you've been doing this, and I'm not tolerating anymore. I'm setting boundaries. But if he started off with, you not gonna talk to me like that, instantly, I think any man, not any man, but most men, because of that, you know, leadership, ego, masculinity thing, soon as they hear another man trying to tell him how to do and how to articulate himself and how to express himself, he's instantly gonna be like, who the fuck is you talk? Like, I just seen most men respond that way.
Okay.
Well, like when you're setting up, sorry, go ahead.
I know,
like,
with,
hold on. I think Ari was trying to get in there. Then we'll go to Hink and Biz.
Well, like when you're setting a boundary too, that's supposed to be about what you're going to do. It's not really about placing a mandate on the other person. So a real boundary would have been, if you continue speaking to me like this, I'm not engaging in this conversation. Or if you consider and continue speaking to me like this, I'm going to go ahead and remove myself. I'm not going to leave my presence here if this is how I'm being spoken to. But instead, he did say it like, you have to X, Y, and Z. You have to say things differently or not say this or that. Because I was trying to think, like, when watching it, what would be a more healthy way to say it. I understood why, like, especially if it started off with feeling that you were being lied about. I understand why someone would respond the way that he did. But yeah, like, to both of your points, if it's really going to be a boundary, it shouldn't have been about him. It should have been about myself, I guess.
Can I mention one thing? When I don't know, I can only speak from a New York perspective, right? I don't know what happens in other people's states. That's light work in terms of what happened and in terms of the way that he expressed that. Like him saying, you're not going to talk to me like that in that manner, in the way that he did, that is like normal, I guess, you know, from where, not saying that could it have been handled differently? Absolutely. From the outside looking in, we could pick that apart. But I'm just talking about in normal interaction, in conversation, and hand movements, gestures, the way it comes out is going to be like, nah, bro, you're not going to talk to me like that. Like, all of that's coming out, you know.
The problem wasn't that. It was just that we continue to engage then, right? Like, you can say it however you want to say it to start, but then what are you going to do? Are you going to keep engaging and arguing and yelling back and forth? Or is it like, okay, I'm done, bye, right? I don't know.
Well, so the thing is that and just being realistic.
And listen, see, if y'all was a man, I would have cut you off and said, hey, it's my turn next. But I know there's double standards, right? So I was supposed to go next after Ari then mistaken said she wanted to get a little bit in there. Then Ari came back and rebuttal. I didn't say a word. See, that's just an example of what I told. I don't argue with women because I know y'all don't argue, play fair when y'all argue. I ain't gonna fuss and fight with y'all. I'm not gonna waste my time because it's not gonna turn out right. It's not gonna go well for neither one of us. So I don't waste my time arguing with a woman. Even my wife, I walk away from her, and she gets mad when I do it. But I don't care.
What?
I'm not gonna argue with you. When you calm down and we could talk in a respectful manner, we have the conversation. Now she gonna be mad because I said this. She's like, why you say that? That's just the truth. I don't do that shit. Now with a hard, I'll argue with you, Fizz. Yeah, I'll argue if we argue. But then I know my boundaries. I know the limit. I'm not gonna go over that. I ain't gonna do anything I can to disrespect you. At least I'm gonna try not to. And if I do, I'll address it later. That now I'm doing this, all this shit on the camera. I don't care about all these goddamn cameras. If I feel a certain way, I'll tell it. I shared it last night. I feel the same way, I'll tell it. I don't have no problem with telling a man that. And we shouldn't, as men, we shouldn't have no problem with telling each other that. We come to a man is respectful. Yeah, Viz, you did wrong for what you did. You should have said that. And if he's well, why you think that? Well, this and this and this. And if he rebut, we rebut. We have a conversation. And could it get loud? Because it could get emotional? Yeah. But ladies, y'all don't want a man who's not ready to raise up. Because that's the same man that's going to get his ass whooped and leave you while you getting shot at. Are you getting pounded on? He ain't going to try to help you, pull you out of the situation or talk the situation out. He ready to fend for himself and see himself only. So y'all better be glad y'all got men out here who is willing to raise up and argue and fuss and fight and get in there and pull you out of situations instead of you. Because I see some of you ladies, y'all go left, and then when y'all go left, y'all don't like it when they go left because you got some dudes ain't cut from the same cloth like me, JR, and Viz is. Them dudes will put hands on you. And they don't care if you're a woman or male or whatever you are. They don't care what you identify as. They will put hands on you. So, you know, be grateful for what you have in a man that's willing to do that. Not every man is, JR set that shit up, saying you think it's sassy. It really wasn't Aisha. I ain't going to throw Aisha under the bus, said she been said. JR put that out there. We're going to blame JR for that. So I don't think it's sassy.
It was not me. It was definitely JR. That was a response. But what I will say to you.
Okay, hold
on. I was next.
I wouldn't finish though, but go ahead, bullet me. Go ahead. Y'all, it's normal.
All right, go ahead, Viz. Then we go to Aisha.
Yeah, to Aria's point, man, just like Mistaken said, I'm not from New York, but I've seen plenty of clips and people talk. I know a few people from New York, and they talk aggressive as hell, especially the women. You know, they just speak aggressive as hell. Now, the thing is I understand to where it could come off as it not being productive, but there are cases, just like Hink said, where, hey, we got to get this steam off. And then once we get this steam off of us clashing back and forth, then we can come dial it back down to where we can come to an understanding, you know, especially if it's something that's pent up and built up. You know, if they have a relationship and this is something that Joe constantly is doing, at some point is, hey, bro, you're not gonna talk to me like this, bro. You know what I'm saying? Or we gonna have to move some furniture in this mob. So it's just a part of being a man. I would say, is it right or proper? You know, is it politically correct? Hell no. But hey, sometimes that's what it takes, especially for us to continue to not only be man, but also raise up man. You know what I'm saying? To understand how to deal with conflict, because that's what we're built to do, right? We're built and made to deal with conflict. So there's going to be instances where we're going to bump heads with each other, and whoever come up off top, then hey, so be it. Or if we can come to an agreement, so be it. But that's just part of the hierarchy of where, hey, look, this is where I am, this is where you're at, and we either gonna figure it out, or again, hey, come check it out, step outside, bro, and we can leave it there. We shake hands afterwards, or shit, we can knuckle up every time we see each other. That is just part of the game.
All right, go ahead, H.
I just think that there has to be a better way. Like, I know that aggression is supposed to be a part of being a man, and this is just how we handle things. But I don't want to be friends or around someone, and that's how we have to handle things. Like, I don't want to be screaming at my friends. Like, I want to be able to tell someone how I feel without doing all of that. And I think Di touched on it earlier. It is a little about emotional intelligence. Like, you should have enough self-control, no matter who it is, for them not to take you to that level. And I feel like there's just no excuse for that. especially when you're being filmed and it's going to circulate around to millions of people. It almost feels like a performance because I don't really know guys that talk to their friends that way. And you know what I mean? Like, yeah, you'll have a family disagreement here and there, but like that's not the norm. It shouldn't be put out there or stated like this is normal. And I think that's where the whole toxic masculinity things comes from, is those aggressive behaviors that men put out. And it's for what's the purpose?
Well, no, Aisha, if it's something that a person is constantly doing, if you get into it with everybody every day, all the time, then no, that's on that dude. I would then say that the nigga is sassy at that point. If you always,
does your boy not get into it with everybody, including women, all the time?
I don't know. Like I said, all I know is pump it up. That's all I know about Joe. I don't know shit else about Joe. You know what I'm saying? That's
he
where
goes
I
like
leave
he
it.
talks like that with women too. Even women that's not even coming off aggressive first, he does that often. He just lacks accountability.
Yeah. So if that is a part of his character, if that is a part of who he is, then is one of two things. I'm assuming that Joe is fairly tall, right? So maybe he's been Lil Bro and Muggs, you know, under the Intimidation Act, and nobody stood up to him, or he just a whole ass nigga that just like to be in conflict, you know. So it's you got those different type of characters, you know, throughout the world. But if I don't think that every man acts in that nature. It's a time and a place for it. But if you're constantly doing it every day and you always getting into it with somebody, then yeah, that person needs to check itself.
And I think I understood where you was coming from, Viz, when you said like, or I might have to put my hands on you, because it's like Viz could be an emotionally mature person, but he got a balance to himself to obviously where he can handle both situations, people who's emotionally mature and not emotionally mature. So he like, okay, what type of man am I dealing with? Am I dealing with a man that's emotionally mature? Because if I could speak to him. But if I'm not, 9 times out of 10, after I tell him about himself, I might have to defend myself because he gonna get disrespectful. He might not get, he might get rowdy. If we friends, we might have to take it outside. So I definitely understand where you're coming from there, but I do feel like at a certain age, we have to say, okay, now I'm not gonna put myself in this environment. So where you gonna take me out my character like that? You know what I'm saying? That's back to what Aria was saying. Like when you setting boundaries is saying how I'm going to remove myself out your life versus telling you what you finna do. Because I do feel like even if after you put your hands on them, if you don't whoop his ass good enough, it's a chance it might happen again. So that's why I feel like a lot of the times conversation is necessary to come to an understanding, but sometimes it just don't work like that, even with women. Like Aisha said, I don't want to make it seem like it's just a woman's trait. It's just a lack of emotional intelligence for people, because I don't want to fight my friend. I had a friend where we would get into it and she would say low blows to me. And I'm just like, you done did this 3 times this year. I tried to set my boundaries. Now I'm gonna have to remove myself. Now we're back cool. And I know her since kindergarten, so this isn't just a friend I met in high school. I had to literally remove myself for 2 years. And now we can have hard conversations with each other. And we know when to walk away because we appreciate each other that much. But we did have to, we both, on both ends, we both had to grow up. I had to be careful how I articulate my stuff. Instead of saying, you make me feel, I had to learn to say, I feel. A lot of people don't realize what those trigger words are, but I 100% agree. I do think it comes from a place of lack of emotional intelligence, but I do understand what Viz say. If this your homie and you care about him, it's just men happen to deal with things differently. You know what I'm saying? But after a while, if you don't want to keep having to fight after a certain age, the best thing you can do is really protect your peace.
We're going to go ahead and transition, man. And just for the record, Joe Budden is 6 feet. He is 6 feet.
And he had drug problems too. He was on real bad drugs.
Big Ant, $11 says, JR, Hink, and Viz, how come it's always the short, fat, out of shape, bro? Always got to be the loudest and most animated out of everyone in the group until it's time to let them hands go. Mills, 36, $2 says, wow, that looking like a baddie. Blackout says, a string full of melanin. Love it. Blackout 199 says, who is the host? I'm falling asleep over here. Big at $11 says, Hink, how many times Mrs. Hink hit you upside the head with that Batman toy behind you? Laughing emojis. Blackout again 199 says, y'all beating this topic into the ground with the Z emoji. Blackout again 199 says, Joe is a master at getting people to talk about him. Welcome, Blackout. Glad you can join us today. Me University says, you learn Earth ain't dope when you gotta cope. Thank you, everybody that's contributed to the platform. And thus far, let's go ahead and keep this show rolling. So I ran across this video on Instagram and TikTok. I'm gonna go ahead and play it. She is talking about coffee dates, Hink. Coffee dates. So when I saw the caption and I heard the video, I instantly thought about you. But let's see what she got to say.
Gonna be controversial, but I put this on my Hinge profile saying no coffee dates and no walking dates. Because one, shout out to Nor. No coffee dates, no walking dates, facts. And I put it pretty much how she said it, but people obviously weren't getting it. So I just put in the effort and I'll meet you halfway. It's easy. Look at me, I look all happy and like cheerful and like, why wouldn't you want to take me on literally any place else than a walk? This prompt feels provocative. Gets the people going because the men love to tell me that this is wrong. It always phrases like, I'm just curious why you feel that way. Don't be, because my man wouldn't be curious. My man would know. My man isn't going on walking dates or coffee dates, right? Because my man is more, he's picky with his time. He's stingy. He's strict. And the only men who want to go on walking dates or coffee dates are men who are going on a lot of first dates. They're going on a lot because they're not really making it to the second. My man, he's making it to the second. He's making it to the third. Like, he's choosy. He's picky. As am I. I'm choosy. I'm picky. I'm not going on a coffee date or a walking date because I already know I'm getting to the first date. So just let's bypass that. A man who's going on a high quantity of dates has no business going out with me anyways, because I'm looking for someone who wants to date like a quality woman and who wants to go on more quality dates and spend their time qualitatively. I know some women believe in going on coffee dates. I know some women believe on going on walking dates, and that's fine. There are so many women out there. They're not advertising on their Hinge that they don't want this thing, right? Go reach out to those women. Leave me alone.
All right, let's go ahead and get into it, man. No coffee dates, no walking dates, and no last minute plans. You may need to put in the effort. And she says she'll meet you halfway. It's easy, just like that. She also made a reference and said that men that do not want to produce a quality date, it's because they're probably not quality men. These men typically are going on multiple dates, and so that's why they want to go on coffee dates and do these walks, because they can't afford to provide a quality date to a woman such as herself or any woman that would be considered quote unquote quality. Let's go ahead and get into it. Start with you first, Ari.
I feel like I prefer a walking date or a coffee date first, because if I'm locked in for dinner, then I have to be there for like a really long time. I would rather like go for something short so that I know if we're gonna vibe at all, and then we can set up that dinner date. And I also feel like if the point of the date is to get to know whether or not you're compatible with somebody, why does it matter, you know, where it is or why we have to invest a ton to start? That's not to say we shouldn't invest like over time or for the next date or whatever if we like each other, but I don't know. I don't think either party should have to lock it in for an hour and a half, 2 hours, plus a bunch of money before they even know, right?
Go ahead, Viz.
Yeah, that's probably why she gets finessed on the regular. Women complain about not knowing a man or finding out that this man is this and that after they done gave up the draws and all this other stuff. It's because you're more focused on how much he's going to spend on the date being able to go to I don't drink coffee like that, so I wouldn't do a coffee date. But being able to go to the library or go for a walk, I have a beach cruiser that I OG'd out for us to go on a bike ride and go post up on the lake or at a park or some shit like that and just chop it up. I get to know who you are and you get to know who I am. We're actually able to make and build a connection. That's why a lot of relationships don't last and don't work now. That's why a lot of women don't get the man that they want, because they're looking for the wrong things, right? So if I can't take you on a walk, the most basic thing that we can do, then we have no business even interacting, because that is the bare minimum of me being able to get to know who you are as you. We can go to a restaurant, but the restaurant might be loud. I'm eating. This steak fire. I want to enjoy my steak. Maybe I don't want to talk to you the whole time. I want to make sure that I consume this steak while it's still warm. But instead, we go to a library, we go for a walk, we go to the aquarium or something. Now we're able to actually see who you are. Do you have the mental capacity to even keep my attention? Does this man have the mental capacity to even keep your attention? So if those are the basic things that you're overlooking, then I mean, to be honest, you're not even qualified to even have a good man. And I'll leave it there.
Okay, I'm gonna read some of these comments that was in TikTok. It says, it comes off as you're combative and inflexible, but hey, some guys like that, I guess. Somebody else says, using a prompt to do this is off-putting, LOL. Also, just declining dates you don't like. Why are you giving up the game? Again, this is what she had on her, is it Hinge profile, about she's not doing coffee dates. So she's letting people know out the gate that this is what I'm not going to do. In my experience, focusing your profile on what you do want versus what you don't want tends to gain higher quality results. So this person is saying that by her being upfront, at least she's getting straight to the point. So she's not misleading anyone, and they're not finding out on the date what the expectations are. Somebody says, no, I just ghost and block people that offer coffee dates. I love that you made your expectations clear. I say I'm available for lunch or dinner dates. I got you beat. I put, if you don't have a my chart, leave me alone. Any kind
What's
of
a my
drink.
chart?
Health, right?
Oh, okay, right.
My chart, it keeps a list of all your health.
Yeah. I literally just decline the coffee dates. I really just think that they are lack of effort, and I don't want to no parts. So a lot of people, I mean, it's mixed reviews about the coffee date. I didn't really think about the coffee date until Hink was on these platforms, and he said, I'm taking you to a coffee shop. So it just kind of stuck with me. But I can understand the reason as to why some people want to, especially when you do have, let's not act like women are not trying to get free meals. Let's not act like that they're looking to be taken out and they repeat the same process over and over again. But then again, there are some women that I think are deserving of at least a dinner date, right? I know some men, it doesn't really matter because they're going to go and eat anyway, and they're not really bothered by it if she wants to tag along and have a conversation and see. She may not get a second date, but some men don't see it as a big deal. I guess it just all depends on the individual, but I'm going to go ahead and go to Hink, Mr. Coffee Date himself. If it don't go right, leave your ass at the restaurant.
JR on BS with you, huh, Hank?
I see. Me and JR are beefing tonight.
Man, I'm trying to hold these men accountable, man. It wasn't no kind
Oh,
of
that's right. So tonight is my night. I'm being held accountable. Shout out.
You got the juice now, Hank.
I see. JR's in his gooch mode. Shout out to the gooch. As far as the lady with the coffee date, man, look, she's not doing up fellas a favor. That just lets me know where her mindset is. The reason I push and I'm all for coffee dates, man, is give me the opportunity to be in a quiet place, few to no distractions, so I can have a conversation, so I can interrogate this woman to see whatever it is that I talked to her on the phone about. See if she's following up, watch her body language, pay attention to how she moves, how she answers the questions, and how she responds. That's my opportunity to do it. I can't do that in a restaurant when this waiter keeps coming by trying to fill up my glass with more water or ask me, do I need anything? I want anything, and then by the time we're done, I didn't get my interrogation completely because I'm being distracted by everything else. So no. I want that opportunity to learn and get to know this woman as much as possible. I don't want to use that time to be distracted by everything going on around us. You know what I'm saying? She may not, like Viz said, she can't hold a conversation, but she's going to use that lobster dinner in order to deflect from what I'm trying to do, talking about how good it is. Okay, I'm glad you appreciate the lobster dinner, but baby girl, what about the question I'm asking you? How do you feel about one pot? I need to know this. I didn't even know what your credit score is. How do you feel about that? I need to know, are you going to come with a lot of debt or very little to no debt? I need to know these things. These are important questions I ask. These are tough questions I ask. These are the things I need to know. That also lets me know, can you communicate? Can you really communicate? And how do you communicate? Are you the type that want to fuss and fight whenever you don't get your way? Yeah, I need to know all of that too. But I can't learn that in a restaurant. Because guess what? You're going to put on your best performance. You're going to be nice, prettied up, dressed up, looking good. You know what I'm saying? So you're not going to be really be honest with me right then and there. You're probably going to give me that fake smile, that fake laugh, and that fake giggle, that nervous smile, yeah, all that. You're going to give me all that. But I want you real. So you can dress down. You ain't got to put on the dye makeup. You could go, dress casual. We can meet at the coffee shop. I ain't gonna come pick you up. We can meet you there. So you feel comfortable and I feel comfortable, first date type thing. And then we go from there. And look, we can always go to a restaurant afterwards if that's what it graduates to, depending on the conversation. We can do that. But ladies, don't be afraid to go on the first date to the coffee date. And you don't have to actually drink coffee. You could drink tea. You could have a mimosa, whatever other drinks they may have. You ain't got to have coffee. So they got other things, maybe some hot cocoa. I don't know, whatever your choice is.
Hey, Hank, when you was talking, it made me think about what's a good conversation. You mentioned that when you get in these settings, you're going straight into interrogation mode, and I'm just being extreme. But what makes a good conversation? What does that actually look like when people are going on dates? Because I don't think people really know what it looks like, and especially if you have a talker.
Mm. So, one of the things is you want to know what their plan is. What's their 5-year plan? What's their 10-year plan? You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that is what I want to know. Where do you see yourself in this 5-year plan? Or do you see yourself with another individual? Maybe possibly be me if I've decided you're worthy enough to be blessed with my last name. Those are some of the things I want to know. I want to know financially, how long have you been at your job? Do you like your job? Is your job a good place? Is it stressful? Because I need to know, are you going to bring that bullshit home to me every night complaining about Barbara and the way she's treating you? I don't give a damn about Bob. I'm worried about you. And if you're going to be stressed out, then I got to reel you back in. So those are some of the things that you definitely may want to talk about. A man of a certain age like myself, kids, you want to know, do you have kids? How many kids do you have? Are your kids well behaved? Is your kids okay with you seeing somebody else other than maybe your ex-husband or your baby daddy? Those are a few conversations you may need to have if you're more mature, man. If you're more younger, man, and you just fresh in the game, you know what I'm saying? Just don't spend a lot of time talking about yourself. Do a lot more listening than talking. I tell men that all the time. Don't talk so goddamn much. Y'all talk more than women sometimes, and you can never take intel like you need to do. Pay attention, allow him to speak, and you hear what you need to. And when you don't hear what you want to hear, or she's not talking like what you need to be talking to, you know what to do, JR. leave at the goddamn restaurant.
Okay. I do have another question for the panel. So if people are out here dating, right, and they between the ages of like 35 and 40, and one of the questions that often come up is, what is your purpose? Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? At the age 35, 40, I do think it's you can ask that question, where do you see yourself? But if somebody is not in their purpose at 40, do you think that's a red flag? And then when somebody does answer that question, what are you actually looking for? When you ask, like, what do you think your purpose? Are you living in your purpose? Like, what does a good answer sound like?
I think yes, it's definitely a red flag. And when I ask the question, I want to know that you have goals, that you have ambition, that you have things that you want to grow toward. It doesn't have to necessarily align with what I want or what I'm doing, but it has to show that you have some kind of initiative.
So if a man is working a 9 to 5, would you say he's in his purpose?
Could be.
Or are you looking for something a little bit more? Maybe he's doing something outside. Let's just say he's just planning on working that job and retiring.
I think it really depends on the way that they word what their answer is. Because if you ask some, let's say Aria is on a date, and what's your plans? What's your purpose? And he'd be like, oh man, shit, I'm just out here. You know what I'm saying? I'm out here making it happen. Woo woo. He say something like that. Oh no, this nigga's a bum. Compared to him having to actually thought out explanation or response to it, then I think that's when it really matters. I always pay attention to the way that people word things and what words is it that they use, because that will tell you a lot about them. And if I think if we pay attention to that during these coffee dates, during these long walks, then you can learn so much about a person, just like Hink said, simply by just asking them questions. So I would say it really depends on how they word what their response is.
I have a question for the fellas. If a woman was to go on a coffee date, because I feel like my issue with a lot of my first dates is I talk too much. I do feel like that. And I know y'all could get that from me. What are some good questions? Because I know, like, I'm not gonna lie, a lot of the questions that Hink was kind of bringing up, like 401k and stuff like that, it's like I wouldn't know like what the proper answers are, I guess, like what amount they should have in there and stuff like that. Like, what are some good questions that women can ask to get men to start talking about themselves, so you can see what type of guy you're dating, like outside of assets and stuff, but to get to know him a little bit more? Because I do feel like guys do sit back and scout and let you do all the talking so he can get to know you, he can get through to you. Like, I've had some of my male friends tell me that before, like, you giving him the game all in one date. But it's like, I didn't know how to get him to talk. Like, I didn't know what type of questions to ask to get him to tell me more about himself, I guess you could say.
So there's questions that, basic questions that you can ask, and you typically know what those are. Like, what do you do? What do you like to do to have fun? Blah, blah, blah. What you have to do is, when they respond, then you have to ask them like a follow-up question with what they're saying. Like, people like to talk about themselves. And so you have to kind of keep them engaged in the conversation and not make the conversation about you, unless they decide to make it about you. So you're going to ask questions. You're going to keep feeding them. And in returns, you will hope that they will feed you and ask questions about you. But sometimes it don't work that way. But they're going to enjoy talking to you because they was allowed to talk about themselves. And you got to understand, like, we really here on this earth to serve others, not to serve ourselves. And so even when you're communicating, you have to serve the other person. And sometimes it's not going to be like it's not going to seem fair, especially for somebody that loves to talk about themselves. But my older self, when people are talking, for the most part, I'm not going to say I do this all the time because sometimes I just want to talk and say some things myself, but I'll just try to actively listen. I'm trying to work on my listening to see what it is they're saying and actually participate in the conversation that they're having. And so I'm going to ask them additional questions based off what they're talking about. And that's how I think that you can actually build with somebody. Because like by default, I'm an introvert, man. I don't too much. I mean, I got different sides of me. Sometimes I get a little rowdy. Sometimes, most of the time, laid back, peeping the scene. I have my moments. I just don't expose the moments to everybody. But one of the things that I have been able to do is just have conversations and just listen.
I would say that probably the best thing that you can do is ask him questions that'll make him think, right? So let's say you say, man, I went to let's say he says that he went to the Bulls game or something, right? And like, man, what was that like? How was that experience? Was that your first time being there, and how different was it from the first time that you may have went? You know, those type of questions will make that person sit back and be like, damn, okay, what was that like? I'll never forget my old lady. We were talking about something, and this was early on when we were first dating. And she was like, she asked me, how did that make you feel? And I was like, damn, wait a second. I don't even remember what we was talking about. But the fact that she said, how did that make you feel? I had to, like, damn, I don't think nobody ever asked me that. So for me, that was extra brownie points, you know, for because it was something different that I experienced in the experience with her. So I think because often I would say most men, especially if they do date often, or if they do encounter women often, we are usually the ones leading the questions. So for a woman to take initiative to consider how we felt, or what we felt in that moment, or what we thought about during that experience, I think that stands out by far.
All right, does that answer your question, Da? Okay.
Yeah, it got my brain going because I'm like, I do ask questions, but I don't ask a lot of follow-up questions because I feel like I don't want people to think like I'm digging or I'm prying or I'm trying to like get in their business. So what I tend to do is what you said, don't do. Once they give me their answer, I relate their answer to something I've experienced versus continuing to follow up with them.
Yeah, you got to just understand life is about balance, man. If you got balance over every aspect of your life, then you should be cool. You got to be able to, when you're talking, sometimes you got to look at their body language. And that's why even talkers on the panel, just try to look at everybody else and kind of gauge you if you've been talking too long. People start turning their cameras off and you just see them looking and start doing other things. 9 times out of 10, you've been talking for a long time. But what happens is y'all will go off in the air and y'all looking. And I think that, and basically, but then I've realized that sometimes talkers just don't give a damn because they'll look at the panel, they'll notice everything that's going on, and it still doesn't matter. So it's the most craziest thing. I've had conversations with talkers, and sometimes it works to me because when I'm multitasking, just talk. That way I don't have to think. I'm able to multitask. I'm able to do what I need to do, and I ain't got to worry about nothing. And I could just say a couple things like, yeah.
Damn, that's crazy.
I've even had somebody, I put the phone on mute, and they say, I know you put the phone on mute, but I don't care. Because
damn.
But talkers need to be studied. They need to be studied because they really don't care if you utter any words out. It's the most. It just
You have
blows
an
my mind every
adrenaline
time.
rush when we talk. It's just
Huh?
it'd be an adrenaline rush. It's like
Yeah, but y'all don't have to get it all out at one time. I mean, just do it up in doses. Just do it in doses. I mean, they talk so much that the throat get dry. And they still
that's me.
talking and struggling. Hold on, I'm sorry. And they just keep talking. So
Yeah, when me and my ex used to try to resolve stuff, y'all know how long-winded I'm on here. So just imagine being emotional trying to talk. And then eventually he said one day, like, am I gonna be a part of this conversation? I'm like, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I tell you one thing, make sure you check your breath, because if you a talker and your breath stinks out, adding to it. People out here suffering. the whisper stink.
But on topic,
I'm gonna try to get back on topic, guys. So help me out. Yeah, crazy. Yeah, crazy.
On topic though, I feel like go ahead. Go ahead.
They can't hold it. Turn over on the bed.
Look, I'm practicing here. Go ahead.
Hey, you warmed up, yeah.
She ready now. She primed. But as far as like what you was talking about, and you said on a date, right? You're not just talking about on the phone. You talking about on the date, right? So once y'all decided to go on this date, and you talk about some questions you might want to ask, like, hopefully you paid attention in the midst of the phone calls prior to going on the date, right? You know, I'm sure he may talked about certain things he talked about. Well, what you could do is bring
have this phone conversation first, because I really don't have. I'm gonna be honest. I'm a in-person person. I don't really talk on the phone. I don't talk on text. I get to know people in person.
Yeah, you gotta talk on the phone first.
When you first meet them, you might only meet them in passing, so you might not have a long time to have a drawn out conversation. So that's when you say, hey, can I, hey, maybe we could talk later, calling you after work or something like that, and then call and have that conversation so you can get to know that person who you're dealing with. You don't want to just all of a sudden meet in person. That dude's a damn creepy ass dude like Viz used to be back when he was 25. So you don't want that. You want to make sure he's going up and up. You know what I'm saying? So, but when you do have him in person, make sure you heard and listen to what he was saying when you was on the phone. Like some of the things little phrases he might have said to catch. Hey, listen for those. Like, okay, I heard you just talking about what you was gonna do this weekend, how you was gonna go hang out and go to the lake and fish. You like fishing? I thought about going fishing myself, but I never been. I would love to go with you and just bring it up. And you may not know nothing about fishing. You may be scared of fish. You know what I'm saying? But you're willing to be out there with him so you can get to know him, get to be in his surroundings, just be in his presence. You understand? Little things like that you can learn, just ask questions on. Find out what his interests are. He's going to ask you what your interests are. That's going to be probably one of the questions he asks you. So you need to be willing to turn the mic over and ask him, well, I know I told you about my interests, but what's your interest? What do you like to do? What are your hobbies? What's little quirky things you like to do that would be unusual? You know what I'm saying? What's your guilty pleasure music or song or something like that? Or is there a favorite movie you like to go see on a regular? Anytime it comes on, you'll just stop and whatever you're doing, you just start watching it over and over about 35 times. Just little stuff like that. And then the man's like, damn, I never had a woman ask me a question like that. But my favorite movie is Don't Be a Menace While Drinking the Juice in the Hood. And so just go from there.
And then I did want to say about the video, I feel like more men, I guess like they said, some men, they want more of a challenge, but I feel like women ask for all this stuff. And I be thinking how do he know you're worth this? How would he even know that you're worth this restaurant or this place or this environment unless he gets to know you first? I feel like more men should start setting that as a boundary. No, we have to do a coffee date first. We have to do a walk, something where I can see what's important to you, because it's I don't understand how a date could determine like a date that a man want to take you on. Well, I guess I can see, but if it's a first date and you're getting to know people, I don't see how that would determine his character. Like, I just didn't get that. And I feel like more men should do that because it's a lot of people. I feel like a lot of women, when it comes down to first dates, when it comes down to dates in general, they be very entitled. Very, very entitled. And it's like, girl, how do we even know if I was a man, that's how I would think. Like, I'm not coming out, girl. How do I know you worth this? I refuse to waste my time, my money, and all this energy on you, and you're not even worth it. You just think you worth it, but your job is to sell yourself to me, and you just feel like you're sold just by being a woman. Like that should be. I don't like that. I didn't like that at all.
I mean, but that's why she had to make a video about it. It's clearly it's not working for her, because if it's working for her, then she wouldn't have to make a video about it, because she still wouldn't be on the dating platform. So low key, when people do stuff like that, they're telling on themselves. So fellas, be aware, be mindful. If she got shit like that in her bio, keep scrolling. Swipe to the left or to the right or whichever way it go. Move on from that wench, because she ain't gonna be nothing but a headache.
Do you think men might try to go after her because they know most men is doing that, like swiping up? So they like, let me go in there, because do it. Like, do you think some men see it as like she's hard to get because she has those requirements? Like, it's hard to get access to her because she has those requirements.
No, men are just trying to get them 20 goddamn minutes, man. That's shit. They just trying to get them 20 minutes from her. That's it.
Okay. Mr. Teki, you want to add anything?
Did you notice?
What?
Like I was chilling. I ain't saying nothing.
Yeah.
See, I don't be noticing when I be.
No, I did. I was like, damn, is she even enjoying the stream right now?
Look, see,
I couldn't read you.
I'm trying to work on. I'm trying to work. I'm trying to be like Hank. I'm just trying to fall back and just take it all in.
Yeah.
I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to learn.
Yeah, I see you.
But I do think that women confuse quality with quantity. So, and what I mean by that is you can have a quality date, because she had mentioned something about, it is a quality of, the date, or quality, like I'm quality, whatever. She says something about quality, and confusing quality with quantity are two different things. So a man spending a lot on a date because they take you to a dinner doesn't mean that that's a quality date, right? Where the opposite can be true, where you go to a coffee date and it's a very quality date, but he didn't have to spend a whole lot of money, right? So I think you as a woman need to decide, do you want a quality date or a date that the focus is on quantity? And it seems like a lot of times, especially nowadays, the focus has been on quantity, because the goal appears to be, like, I ain't out in the street, so I don't really know, but what it appears to be, it's about how much I can brag about how much was spent, right? It has nothing to do with the dating with the purpose part, right? It's the, oh, this is Instagram worthy, kind of thing. And then also too, thinking about somebody, when I think you said, JR, when you were reading the comments about that, it's about effort, and they think that that's low effort. Again, I think that's another thing, confusing the quantity with effort, because it takes no more work to do a dinner date than it does a coffee date, right? You're doing the same thing. You drive, either you're calling and you're making a reservation, and that's it. There is no effort in doing that, versus having a guy that might plan a picnic date. So he may not spend a whole lot of money, but he's going to the store, like maybe get a little charcuterie, you know what I'm saying? Like trying to do something and plan it, get a little wine, get a basket, and go to a park. And then that's it. But then a woman look at that like, oh, this is low effort because it's not a whole lot of money spent. But there was a whole lot of effort put into that. Going to the store, picking out the different things to eat, getting a basket, finding the perfect place in the park to lay, you know, all of those things. So I definitely think that the priority and the focus of what the date is supposed to be about has been lost. And it's about the pomp and circumstance.
Okay.
Yeah, most women see it as a flex. They be trying to flex.
Mm-hmm.
I think too, like, okay, so if you want to think about women talking a little bit more in dates versus men, I think sometimes women feel like they have to prove that, you know, they're worth more effort, right? So then they try to talk a lot about themselves instead of listening a little bit more. Which, you know, we should be deciding, like both people in the conversation should be deciding, you know, if they like the other one, not trying to prove that I'm likable. But then some other thoughts that I was having as you all were talking was that there, you know, from a behavior analytic perspective, there are two types of manipulators. And there's like people that want to control the narrative through dominating by dominating the conversation. And that person might be the person who wants to talk excessively about themselves, who wants to, you know, kind of show all these impressive stories or say all of these, you know, great things about themselves. And then that person is trying to sell themselves to you. But then there's also the listener type people who try to manipulate through gathering information about you. So like they seem to be super tuned in, but it's because they're doing something that a lot of manipulators and cluster B type people do, which is mirroring you. And so like if they're mirroring your emotions and really seem to be understanding you from the very first date, sometimes that can be a little bit of a red flag because they're hyper aware of your emotions. They get you to let your guard down, be a little bit more vulnerable, and then they later will use that stuff. They'll find out about your weaknesses, your traumas, your desires, and what you want in a partner, and then they use that later to manipulate you, you know, guilt trip you, fake a partnership that they're not actually interested in being a part of. And both of those types of manipulation tactics can be mitigated by making sure that you're asking a lot of the WH questions that aren't what. So like instead of what's your job, what are your hobbies, what do you like about blank, 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 and blank, it'd be like who, where, why do you like to do the work that you do? Who made you think about that for the first time? Where did you first understand this about yourself, right? And then also just making sure, right, that you're not oversharing, which I don't know. It seems like a lot of the questions you guys are like posing as examples are very deep questions, which I don't know that I would be comfortable answering somebody I just met. I don't know what you think about that.
Well, that's why I think that it's important for us to have at least, I would say at least 2-hour talk time on the phone. Like we have to have invested at least 2 hours, be it if it's 2 hours straight or 1 hour this day, then 30 minutes the next, whatever the case may be. We have to have this conversation first before I even go out in public with you, me personally, so that once we do get in public, can we still maintain the conversation? Or are you going to be sitting here looking at me crazy as hell while I'm asking you questions and trying to talk to you? You know, because then I'm going to have to do what Hink say and leave you at the damn restaurant. So I think that and this is why I stand firm on when dating, you need to be able to develop a friendship with this person first. Because if I can't click with you as a friend, just as a person, a human being, what the hell am I here for? You know, we wasting each other's time. So me personally, I'm not gonna ask you your 401k and how much money you make and all that other stuff. I'm not gonna do that right off the bat. I want to know who you are. You know what I'm saying? Because the money don't mean shit. It means something, but right out the gate, the money and that don't mean shit. I'm gonna be able to learn all of that just in the conversation that we have. Are you well traveled? What's your favorite restaurant? Is it Applebee's or do you like going to Ocean Prime? You know, what kind of clothes are you wearing right now? Is you got on Gucci everything? You Gucci down from the to the socks, or are you looking good? You know, in some moderate, you know, what Drake say, hair tied back with some jogging pants on or whatever. Do you look good in that? You know what I'm saying? So
Ain't nobody got time for that.
That's me personally. I feel like that's the best route if you're actually intentional about learning someone, much rather than you know, making it uncomfortable, I suppose.
What are some questions that you all would consider red flags if you were asked?
Anything financial on the first date for me is a red flag. I would say on the first date. But if it's like what Viz spoke about, having prior conversations where we've talked about things and then eventually it led to that, depending on how I feel, I may not necessarily directly tell you, oh, my credit score is blah, 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 blah. But I will give you an inkling of saying, yeah, I manage my money pretty well. You know what I'm saying? Because it still may be things that I need to get to know, because as me speaking from a woman's side, even though we might have great conversation, because I still really don't know you, I'm still needing that space and time to get to know you. So some of the questions that you might be asking me, while you're coming from a point of intention, like you might be intentionally dating for the purpose of getting married, and we're saying those things, but I truly don't know you yet. So I don't know what your intentions are. So you could be asking me about my credit, so you can be scheming. So, oh, she got good credit. All right, I'm about to scheme this because I know I'm gonna be able to get these loans or get these cards or whatever. So I have to be mindful of those things. Talking about like a lot of sex on the first date, about all of those, that would kind of be a red flag a little bit too, depending on how that conversation is trying to be led. Yeah, I was still.
I agree with you, Miss Peggy.
I was still
Hey,
reserved. Not that I have an issue talking about
what's your
sex, but I
favorite
don't know
position?
like that to be trying to go into details about what I like, what I don't like. Like, nah, bro, we're not there yet. Like, we don't need to even be discussing that, you know. So yeah, it would be those kind of things would be red flags for me.
I agree 100%. That's why when I go to dates, like Javier said, I usually try to dress down. I don't like this. To me, this is not even really dressed up. I just got on lashes and I decided to do my lips today. You know, I did my hair, but I will go in my most natural state. I might keep my lashes because it just makes me more feminine, but I try to go in my natural state because I feel like when I look like this, I get a lot of questions. Like, I bet it's wet, ain't it? I bet it's this. I bet it's, and it's like, boy, like now we're not even going on the second date. Now I don't even want to talk to you no more. Like,
I think your makeup looks beautiful. I don't know what Hank was talking about though.
Yeah,
I sound like you got. So I already sound like you got a question for him, right on.
You mentioned earlier, you were like, you said something about dye styled makeup. Like, I don't know. I feel like it looks
I don't
cute.
even have on makeup, by the way. I might have did my eyebrows. I filled them in a little bit, but I don't have on makeup. I'm just polished
So
today.
okay, shout out to your polish. So the reason I say what I say, I'm a man who doesn't like a lot of makeup. I don't like all that clown shit makeup. You look like a goddamn Tammy Faye Baker or Bozo the Clown. I ain't with that shit. That's just not my thing. That's why I said what I said. So,
But you said that, so you feel like I be wearing clown makeup?
Yeah. So I don't
When
like
have
all
I ever worn makeup on here?
Okay. Well, maybe you don't think, to me, I see you in the makeup, and I don't like a lot of that shit.
Okay.
Now look, you about to get offended. I'm gonna have to apologize now. I'm not saying
No,
you're
I'm
wearing a lot
not
of makeup.
offended. It's just I don't have on makeup. Like I could do like
I got to, but Aisha's like my damn conscience over her. Aisha's like my conscience over her because she calls me a bully and says I'm mean. So now every time I see her, I feel like I gotta apologize and check myself. That's my
As
butt.
you should, because Di looks beautiful. Miss Taken, you look beautiful too today. I love the braids.
You see what I'm talking about? Yes, you see what I got to deal with here?
Lashes on or something to mine. Like, what is happening?
You got the juice.
Aisha, and that's funny that you said that because I just seen a post that said if you're on social media, you're trying to bring in more followers and do stuff, people like looking at good looking people. So if you know you're good looking, do a little bit, enhancements. I'm like, okay, maybe I'll come on a podcast with, my edges laid and some lashes today, bring out a more feminine side to me. But Hank think I got on a full face of makeup. All I did was add some lashes and put on a wig.
Well, that just speaks to your beauty, Di. So it was just really a compliment.
Thank you, you guys. And I do have on lip gloss and stuff too. So the lip liner might make it seem like I do have. Maybe it's the lip liner. Maybe it's the lip liner that makes it.
Like you're good. You don't gotta keep explaining it. You're good.
Like it doesn't matter. You look.
He has Mrs. Hink. Mrs. Hink respects the way he wants her to look. You're not Mrs. Hink. Keep doing what you do.
Yeah. What you drinking over there, Ish?
That's something.
I don't know what time it is.
Aisha, is that a red flag question for you?
What is a red flag question?
What Jay, I just asked you, what you drinking over there?
You could ask what I'm drinking. That's not a red flag question.
Well, I think it's a red flag when a woman has filters on all her pictures.
Oh my God, that is such a red flag. I hate when I gotta go 2 years to see how a woman look. I'm like, dang, how she really look? I gotta go back to 2019.
Hey, but the crazy thing about it is that like some of the women are actually beautiful, but they don't see that they're beautiful.
For the guys, have you saw women on Instagram, they have the filters on all the time, you've spoken to them on the phone and then actually asked to meet them in person, and then when you saw them in person they looked completely different than what you've seen with all of the filters and everything on when seeing them on IG?
Like I seen both. I mean, I've seen people. It's the same thing like makeup. You don't have to be really filters, but I think people do look different without makeup. Makeup does do a lot of wonders for people, but I just don't like the filters because I do photography, and I tell people you can still enhance yourself without enhancing the whole entire photo. So it just takes away from me from the presentation, the authentic look of the photo, because you just slap a filter. And I understand people don't know how to edit. They've never done these things, but you can do some small little tweaks to still give you that look. And it doesn't take a long time, but they just may not know. I just don't like when people slap filters on there. And I've seen beautiful women still resort to the Snapchat filters. I just don't seem to understand it.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm one of them. I love my Snapchat filters.
Like even when you out, it's like don't you turn your camera on. Here, use this one. And then it's already set for Snapchat, and I don't even use Snapchat. So I'm saying like, damn, like, okay. Did you save it? Did you save it? You gotta save it. Go ahead.
Tell
Bill.
y'all the craziest part too, and this is on some nerdy shit. But to me, the Snapchat camera is horrible.
It is.
Like it's the worst camera on all of the apps.
It
And
forces
every
you
time
to use a filter.
Yeah.
it's like,
So, like,
why do you want to use this horrible app with this camera? It's like that.
yeah.
Oh.
Like the best thing to do is to actually take the rawest photo you can on an iPhone, which most people have, and then you can do your edits there. You know, that's probably like the best way to actually do it. And I don't know, maybe I need to come out with a I don't know, man, probably do some type of tutorial or something like that.
Yeah, because I'm just not photogenic. I just feel like I'm not photogenic, and the filters just help a lot.
Well, the thing is, just take a bunch of photos. If you take a bunch of photos, if you take like 30 photos, one of them got to look good. And if one of them don't look good, then it's on you. You just if you take 30 photos and you couldn't get one of them right, you ain't like one of them. You couldn't get your ass straight. You couldn't get your lip.
There's also a lot of things online that'll tell you like how to pose for a picture. Because I thought that I took terrible pictures. Like I was like, I hate it when anybody else takes a picture of me. But then I figured out I was just like standing wrong or like, I don't know, smiling wrong.
I don't know. Some of them poses are suspect, man. I got to stand a certain type of way, man. They got to be. I kind of hate that pose. They were like, put your hand in your pocket.
I'm always adjusting cufflinks that aren't there in pictures. Have you noticed that?
Well, one of the things is, and this is from me, you know, like JR, coming from a photographer's point of view, we as individuals are self-conscious of what we believe our flaws are. So when you take a picture, you're already trained to look at what you believe your flaw is, and in which in most cases it actually may make you more attractive. You know, that crooked ass smile you got, man, that shit's sexy. You might not like it, but hey, that thing do a thing to, you know what I'm saying? That's how it be, because there's beauty in the imperfections. So I think, especially in this day and age of social media, we're so self-conscious to put out something that's perfect.
Yeah.
When as we see now, one of the trends that you see now is people taking pictures and the pictures are blurred. And those be some dope ass pictures. And that was how pictures used to come out sometime when we was
Yeah,
the throwaways. Yeah. So you ain't know if the picture was good or not. You get it. You got this bright ass lens flare in the corner. You know what I'm saying? But you see you in the hey, them be some of the hardest pictures. But we got away from that.
You talking about the Walgreens joint, ain't you?
Yeah, the disposables.
Yeah, but I used to work in photo. A lot of people overthink when they're taking the photos too. They overthink, and a lot of times what you're paying attention to, most other people are not paying attention to. You can have some really dope photos, dope videos, but you don't believe in it because you are trying to paint a perfect picture. And sometimes the pictures that doesn't appear to be perfect, everybody else view it as perfect. Like another red flag that you'll see with men is when they put their middle fingers up. The reason why men put their middle fingers up in photos is because they don't have anything else to do. Like they're trying to take away from the awkwardness and just standing there. They don't know how to be still and still be relevant in the moment. So you'll see them throw a middle finger up.
Which is weird as hell. I hate to see grown men do that. Like that's so. It'd be weird as hell to see grown men do that.
Yeah, and then his woman standing right next to him, and that's just what he do.
If there was only one question that you can ask on a date, what would that question be? You can only ask one question. What do you think that question would be?
Do you believe in God?
I was just going to say that. Do you love God? Not just believe in him, but do you have a relationship with God? Do you have a relationship? A relationship with
I'm
God?
gonna say believe. I had just real quick. I had this woman that I dated a long time ago, and she told me she didn't believe in God. And I was in my 20s. I just felt funny. I felt like every time I seen her, she was just dark. And hopefully I'm not offending nobody, but I just felt like she just was dark. I don't know. So that's probably my question that I would ask, because then it at least let me know that she has some type of structure, or she's governed in some form. If she does believe in that, she may not be in her holy journey during that time, but maybe there's a chance, or maybe she's always been that way.
I think for me, it depends on where I meet the woman at. You know what I'm saying? If I meet her, you know, in a place that, you know, where the heathens go and partake in, yeah, I'm probably definitely gonna ask about, you know, her religious background, her religious belief. But if I meet her somewhere, you know, may say in the grocery aisle, in the produce, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna ask a question about, you know, what's your stance on one pot? So there you go.
Like that one pot, man.
My one question would be, what's one of your favorite memories?
Okay. What about you, Ari?
I think I would ask, like, why do you get up in the morning? Like, what drives you, I guess? I probably figure out a better way to say it, but something to get to the root of that.
All right, Aisha, what you asking?
I always ask this question, so this is simple.
Aisha gonna ask, how big is it?
No, literally. I always ask them what are their aspirations in life, or you know what I mean, like what are their aspirations in life, or like who is one person in your life that like you look up to as an influence, right? Like, so you kind of know where their head is. But easy.
You can also identify like a growth mindset by asking what's something you've learned recently, or something that you've learned in the last year. I just ask them to elaborate on that too. I feel like that sometimes will get to the heart of whether somebody has like that growth or that fixed mindset.
Okay. Let me get to these super chats, and then we're gonna get to this clip.
Well, Miss Taken ain't give her.
Oh yeah. Yeah, what's that question that you would ask if you were dating? Like if you're dating now, like what would be the question you ask?
I would probably ask, what is something in your life that has hurt you the most?
Okay.
What does that tell you about the person?
Man, mistaken toxic.
No. The reason is because it would let me know in terms of impact, depending on what the story is and who hurt them. So if it was a situation with the mom or the dad, for me, I would see that maybe potentially having a long-term impact, and how that would play out in a potential relationship. So
is that on the first date?
If I only had one question to ask, that would be
you're right.
Because I think that would have the most impact on a relationship. So if you had a bad relationship with your mom, that's going to make me think, what do you think about women? How do you relate to women? You know, so
Damn, you gonna bring them to tears on the first.
I was just thinking that, Vince. Don't ask me that.
You
gonna bring them to tears.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of routine questions, and so people already got the scripts. So sometimes you got to throw them curveballs a little bit, see if you get a little bit more out of them. When we talking about better vetting, You got to stand out from the pack.
That's true.
AP accountability partner, $5 says coffee and walking is a low effort date. Imagine having the ability to hold a conversation for hours just walking around. No distractions, just you two. AP again, $5 says, what's good, panel and host? Salute. We see you, die. Looking less toxic than normal. AP again, $5 says, most people don't even know why they are dating. They're not dating purposefully. Hink is talking from a person who was dating with a purpose. AP again, $10 says data first. They questions. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? What's your plan to get there? Then you give them a comment. Then what made you decide that? Are your folks supportive of that dream? AP again, $5 says you're supposed to get in their business, die. You're looking for a mate for life. Get as much information as you can so you don't end up wasting time. PI double 499 says half 44-year-old making 125K man and your 23-year-old daughter are dating for almost 2 years. They love cooking as a pair and watch reality TV. He pays the bills and pays. No, he paid the bills and pays. Double again, 499. 2 out of 2. Her student loans, and she focuses on her career. Both want to get married and start having children when she's 25. Would you support their marriage? Mills, $36, $2 says arcade and gun range is great dates. AP accountability partner, $5 says Aria, why waste time? Small talk is cool. But let's have a real dialogue. We're adults. Let's have a real compatibility check. I agree, mistaken. Finance, red flag. Me University, $2 says, I'm pulling in 63, but bet she stays sporty in a JLC. What's at a bar from Kendrick?
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's the JLC?
I thought there might be a line from that Kendrick. No? I don't know.
Is he talking about a car? I know they got I think it's the GLC. Well, no, that's the GLE.
$5 says first day should be questions on personality only. Don't be digging into my finances on the first date. JLC is code for bussy or busy?
Bussy. Hey, wait, go back. What was that? What was the super chat again? Because that definitely don't make sense then. I'm pulling in 63, but bet she stayed sporty in a bussy. What?
No, he just don't want to say he was wrong. He probably did mean GLC.
Okay. All right, let's go ahead and keep it moving though, man. If you haven't already hit the like button, also make sure you subscribe to the channel. The likes are free, family. Hit the like button. That's all I'm asking you guys to do. I do want to thank the people that has contributed thus far. Much love and appreciate it. Let's go ahead and get into Stephen A. Smith. This appears to be his nephew that he brings onto his show. And he had an interesting take, seeing how Valentine's Day was, what was it, last week? Not too long ago. I'm going to go ahead and play this clip and let's go ahead and get into it. Yeah, last Friday. Waiting on that. Come on, Miss Simone. There you go. Here we go.
Did you just say on video that you have 3 Valentines?
Yeah.
Is that what you just said?
What happened?
You don't think that's gonna get you in trouble running your mouth like this?
No. I mean, unless if I told my Valentine, yes, you were my only Valentine, that'd be a lie. That's not what I did. But
what did you do, Josh? What did you do?
Well, this year I chose me. Let's start with that. I got tired of the same old, like I buy something ground shaking and get back like a beard comb or something like that. Or my favorite. Oh, you come out with something laced with nothing in your hands. I don't care. I had that before. Where's my gift?
So let me get this straight. On Valentine's, you're looking to receive a gift as opposed to give them?
Yeah. And it's because I want to start a new tradition. A tradition is started by people. So I want to start a new one. Valentine's Day is about me. If you with me, Valentine's Day is about me, because all year round I'm about you, right? That's what you taught me to do. Be all about your lady, right? So what's the one day could I get? It's not Valentine's Day, then what is it? That's another thing.
How about your birthday? How about that?
She got a birthday too. So why she get that and Valentine's Day?
Because she's your lady.
I'm her man. That's it. We gotta start establishing value in ourselves. I got you. Stop taking that from me. What else are you talking about? Got my notes here.
Peace, King. Kings rise. This year, I chose me. Fellas, how does this video make you feel, man? Did you feel good about it? I mean, you think it's our time now? We got to start choosing us. Make us a priority. You know, we can't be manipulated, as Aria alluded to a little bit earlier about what goes on with these words. I chose me. Anybody can ask on this panel, though. Like, what you guys thought about that video, about what he had to say?
Hey, Steven funny as hell for turning up on him real quick like that, though. But I mean, I was always under the impression that Valentine's was for women and Sweetest Day, that's for the fellas. So me and my old lady, we
kind of keep in mind real quick, Viz, is that's just a Chicago whatever mid, however you say it. That's not everywhere.
Midwest.
Yeah, it's just Midwest.
Yeah, so people don't know about
what is that?
Which means that day
Don't know
doesn't.
what Sweetest Day is.
No,
Sweetest Day is in October, November for the men, and it's specifically for the men. It's like Valentine's Day, but for men.
Damn, yeah. I ain't even know that was like a regional thing.
Right. So that's why you didn't hear him bring that up as far as what day do we have. If you go around Texas and ask people what Sweetest Day, they don't know what you're talking about.
Damn.
Are you saying Sweeties Day or Swedish?
Sweet test. Like you're the sweetest ever. Sweetest
Day. Okay, got it.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm not expecting nothing on Valentine's Day. I don't care about that. I'll take you out, get you, some flowers, some candy, whatever, if that's what you're into. But I'm not expecting nothing like that.
Okay. So what did you think about the message as far as him saying, I chose me? Do you think that men got to start making themselves a priority in relationships? Or do you think currently how society paints the picture, do you think that it should continue that way?
I mean, if he decides that he wants to choose himself on Valentine's Day, I think that's a little, if that's what he into. But I think that's soft, man. That's some soft ass shit. If my old lady wants to feel special along with everybody else on this day, I'm gonna get her whatever it is that she want, and she gonna give me exactly what I want once we get home. So it's still a one hand wash the other. I mean, I don't understand why. I'm not gonna be like, oh, I choose me today. Like that sounds like some soft activity.
What if you were single dating multiple women?
I'm still not. It's for me. Growing up, Valentine's Day was always about the girl. I'm gonna go get you a card. When I was a shorty, I'm gonna make you this card. I'm gonna go and buy some of the little heart candies. You know what I'm saying? That used to dissolve in your mouth or whatnot. And hey, will you be my Valentine? Yes, sir. Pink already know. I'm gonna give you a couple of them joints. You know what I'm saying? With some chocolate, whatever. Hey, and if I gotta give it to about 3-4 of them, so be it. Somebody gonna enjoy it. So that's some weak ass shit to me. Men need to go back to being men. we court women. So if you got to choose yourself on Valentine's Day, then that just sounds like some soft ass shit to me. I was trying to clean up my words, but
Yeah. I
So
All right, what you think?
I'm yo, somebody else go. I'm sorry.
Nah, you go ahead. I was gonna go to Ish, but you go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You go. I'm trying not to be a bully. Ain't that right, Aisha?
You are so not a bully anymore, Hank. You have upgraded. Go star. Look at you. Anyways, I feel like, yeah, this is definitely given. I was hurt before. Someone hurt me in 3rd grade. I bought a girl a Valentine, but the other dude did too, and she chose his flowers were better. That is like what is given to me. Like, I don't understand why these type of things go viral, right? Because everybody I know, like Viz said, they're buying stuff for their lady if they really want to be really want to be with her and they love her. Even situationships, like situationships was popping on Valentine's Day, okay? But I just think he's there to be entertaining. He's very entertaining. Like, he's bringing that show back to life. But I think it's more of entertainment. I definitely don't think he has 3 women and he's telling all 3 of these women, I choose myself on Valentine's Day. If that's the case, he's going to have to start over because, he's your uncle. You're not him. You can't, what I mean? Like, so I just think it's, he's just being arrogant. And I just think it's all fake. But yeah, like, nobody's doing that. Like, you don't choose yourself. Like, I mean, men do choose yourself, right? Over these heifers, like, in my Hank voice. Choose yourself. But choose not on Valentine's Day, sweetheart. Choose another day to choose yourself.
Yeah, like that on its own is weird as hell because again, it's a day for women. It's always been that way traditionally. If you're gonna choose yourself, and choose yourself the day before or the day after. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just weird as hell to me.
Is it a day for women or a day for the couple?
I mean, it just all depends on the woman. But I've had some women that it was a mutual thing,
right? So, but the man typically initiates it, right? It's the woman. If the woman give us something, then it's a plus. But me, I've never.
Come on, Viz, you gotta have some standards, man. Come on, man. You can't give it away to them. If she want to get you some gifts, let her get you some gifts, man.
Well, no, I'm not going to turn it away, but I'm not going to expect it though. You know what I'm saying?
You're saying it's not a requirement.
It's not a requirement.
No, come on, beloved. You gotta expect it, beloved. Come on, rise up.
When I moved to Chicago and I found out about Sweeties Day and like the dudes needing a reward or some shit, I was taken aback. I was like, what? I said, who made this shit up? I was really like, who? And they really expect their gifts. So it's like their version of like Valentine's Day. That's why I think Valentine's Day traditionally was for women. And then now, of course, the men, they got to have everything we have, of course. So they were like, what about us? And so now here's this raggedy Sweeties Day. But I go all out for Sweeties Day. You better ask me. Like, I do my thing. I might throw really. I'm cries. I'm gonna throw the confetti in the air for him, whatever he need, So it's fun. It's exciting. I think that it's one of those things about celebrating love, and I think that's what Valentine's Day is supposed to be about, like a celebration of love and romance. Maybe he wants to be romancing himself. Like, I don't know. He gotta take some time for himself.
You're gonna get that lotion. Choosing himself.
Imagine he has a whole setup for himself.
Candles lit and everything. Yeah, no, man. Yeah, you know, I don't know, man. That's kind of it's kind of weird because if we're in a relationship, I'm gonna receive gifts throughout the relationship. So this one day, I'm not expecting it. This if we're going to celebrate it, and I know that this is something that she's into, I'm doing this shit for you. Aside from that, it's just another day. So that's why I think that is for women, you know, because for me, it's like we go out every weekend. So just because it's Valentine's Day and there's some women that want to dress up and we gotta match and wear red and shit, like I'm not doing all of that. We can go out, have a good time. I'm gonna buy you some roses, you know, if that's what you want, and we're gonna enjoy ourselves. But
so if your wife bought you matching outfit that said Mr. and Mrs. and she told you to wear it, you're not gonna wear it?
Yeah, I'm right. We are different.
On Valentine's Day? No.
The effort she went into buying your outfit, Mr. Mrs. He's mine, I'm hers, and you gonna tell her no?
Yeah.
We met. You better rock that outfit.
Oh, he like she knows. She knows that outfit.
Look, now, don't let that man lie to you. He got a thing 1 and thing 2 shirt. I don't know what he lying for.
I was gonna say, like, I literally got my dude to put on a tie that, like, he was like, "This is definitely a Hispanic tie, but because you bought it, we gonna match together." Like, what? You are definitely putting that on.
My husband be getting so mad when I be trying to copy what he got on. I be like, "Oh, you wearing it? Okay, let me go get it." And he trying to make me like, "What is go check."
We definitely have to coordinate. There must be some down. We need to coordinate.
You gotta coordinate.
No, coordinating is that's different from wearing matching outfits. That's something completely different. I'm not doing the matching outfits though.
Hey, you doing the matching outfits, Hank?
Hey, Veer's doing it up on vacation.
Yeah, he is.
Out the country.
I was
with the top and the shorts.
I was on the cruise, and boy, they had this couple had she had a flag bathing suit. My man had a flag swimming trunk. I said, man, these look like assholes out here. You got to be kidding me. But let me say what I need to say because Viz, I disagree with you. I disagree. I know it's the traditional way. I understand, but like we said the other day, maybe our parents told us wrong. You know, remember when you said your uncle used to tell you, "Hey man, you try to knock down everything that comes across." We said that was wrong. This is wrong. It's not about the women. I know that's what we make it about, but it's not what it's not about. Look, last Valentine, my fiance at the time took me out to dinner. I didn't take her out. She took me out to dinner. We went to a nice Italian restaurant. That's what it was. I mean, it's for us to enjoy each other, not just for her all the time. I don't have no problem with what he said because I think I must have missed it because he's talking about he's expecting gifts. He's expecting them to do for him. It's not like he's going to be lonely. If he got 3 options, he's not going to be lonely. One of them out of the 3 going to say yes, and then he going. So he's not going to be lonely. He ain't going to have to deal with the lotion unless he into freaky shit. Now, that's a different story. But I'm all about expecting to give. Yeah, give me something. Why not? If I'm the man that's in your life and I'm that special man, you ain't got no other Valentine. Yes, I'm looking for something. Whether it's a gift or some extracurricular activity, and you weren't a little to nothing. That's what I'm expecting. So there's nothing wrong with that.
I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with it. Again, I'm not receiving gifts. We just don't celebrate Valentine's because again, we go out on that normally. You know, we go out every other weekend to have dinner. Sometimes one week she'll pay, the next week I'll pay. You know, we go on vacation a lot. We've traveled the world. So it's the norm for us already. So this one day to us, it really doesn't matter because we're just doing the same shit that we would do any other weekend. So that's why I perceive it that way.
I was gonna say, I think to the I do think men should have an expectation as well. And I think the expectation should be at the level that the woman expect the man to provide for them. Because if you have what you consider like a good man, and as women, we look at what we're provided, based on how much they care for us, right? So if you have a good man, why wouldn't you want to go all out, right? The same way you would expect him to go all out for you. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, to have that expectation. And especially when he just said, yeah, I went and spent all of this money to get this, and then you give me a beard brush. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's whack. You know what I'm saying? If he came home and gave you, something like a vacuum cleaner. You know what I'm saying? Like, is like one of those things that we'll be like,
Is it a Dyson? No,
Is it I was gonna say, is it a nice vacuum?
Like,
or
those things that is like, this isn't an appropriate gift.
a lash curler.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so I definitely think it should be at the level that I think gift speaks volumes. So if you're expecting your man to go all out and give you these top dollar stuff, then I think on the flip side, that should be the same energy that you give him. That's just my opinion.
But that traditionally doesn't happen,
Go
though. Traditionally, that doesn't happen, right? Like, I have friends who literally got diamonds and they've gotten like new cars from their husbands and stuff. Traditionally, they're not going out and buying their husband new cars and diamonds for Valentine. Like, that just doesn't happen. Like, I've seen every once in a while some girl that went all out, and I think I seen one girl buy her husband like an apartment building for Valentine's Day one time, or like the celebrities who do these really big things. But like the people that we associate with, normal people, typically it's the guy who does the giving on Valentine's Day. Like I said, I traditionally always, like, my husband always did stuff for Valentine's Day, but it was a mutual share. Like, I knew that he would do something for me, so then of course I'm gonna do something for him because I already know like it's coming. But then when I got moved here, it was like, what is this whole other holiday? So in that effect, I'm like, well, I don't have to do anything for him for Valentine's Day because his day is gonna come. Does that, you know what I mean? Does that, yeah.
Man, you better know how to recognize you got a good man. You got to take care of Valentine's Day, sweetest day, every week, every day when you got a good man.
Valentine's Day is like for couples too, that like you get into this everyday routine of life. Like, the romance dies down. You know, you're dealing with the kids, you're cooking. Like me, I've been running crazy, cheer coach, all of these things. And like sometimes it's nice to like have that reassurance and just that little spark to like spark your relationship back up. So I think that is traditionally like what Valentine's Day was used for in the past. For, I know, especially married people and couples, it's like, oh, that's the one day we actually have a date night and we get to go out, and you know, I'm going to expect to get these flowers because my husband's been lazy for the past 3-4 months, right? So it's kind of like, it's almost like we look forward to it. So for a man to be like, well, what about me? It's like, come on. And you got 3 women.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. But to be devil's advocate, when I heard him, he do sound hurt. So I'm like, maybe he should put himself first this year, because him constantly putting other women first is just going to make himself even more hurt. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like when I date, I'm always thinking about like getting my man stuff, not just on Valentine's Day, but like if I'm in the store and I'm like, he was just talking about this game, or he was just talking about this. He just like, I like to cater to my man. And I do feel like when I hear most men talk, they always talking about what they do for their girl, what they do for their girl. They be so, and even on the podcast, it's like the men be so focused on their wives wanting needs that I do feel like men should start putting themselves first in most instances. Like they should just be like, hey, this is what I want. This is what I would enjoy. This is how I like to be loved. This is how I like to be this and that. But the way he was talking, and I think that's why a lot of people was taken aback, it was just coming from a place of hurt. Like, skip them. I don't care about them. In the past, I got nothing. So these, even though these new bitches ain't got nothing to do with the past, these new bitches finna get nothing, and they all three finna be my Valentine. It's like, what did they do to you though? Like, were they the ones that got you the bearded comb? Like, it was weird the way he articulated it. But I do feel like women should start like caring about men, because I've had some toxic friends, and unfortunately, I thought we was gonna be friends again. But I've had toxic friends, like I've heard their husband say, like, I just want you to tell me you appreciate me. I just want you to tell me you love me. I want you to do this. And he'll be taking care of all the bills. And she's like, that's what your mom's supposed to do. I'm not gonna do all that extra stuff. Like, I'm the woman. Like, I'm not gonna buy him this because I'm, that's what we are. Like, men supposed to take care of me. Like, and I'm not saying most or all people are like that, but those type of people get created when men don't express, hey, I want to be valued too. I want to be recognized too. I want to be loved too. So if it wasn't the sweetest day, I think I would give my man something like, but I do forget about holidays a lot. But if he expressed to me like, hey, this year I wanted something, I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna get my man something. Whatever my man want, he's going to get. Okay, like, ain't no pride involved. Like, yes, baby, I got you. Like, we could share this day.
Why does it have to be on these? Why does it have to be on these specific days though?
Well, you missed the beginning of my statement. I say I'm getting my man with like throughout the year. If I'm in Walmart and he was just talking about this movie, he was just talking about this game, he was talking about this hat, these shoes. He loved basketball, the Bulls coming in town, his favorite team coming in town. I'm getting it for him. I just love loving my man. I don't feel like those special things and being catered to, I don't think that should just be for women. I think men should be catered to too. Like, whatever I could do to cater to you. I remember when my BD was alive, I was like, let me rub your feet. And he never had his feet rubbed before, and he finally did. He was like, hey, this shit nice. Like, I like this. You feel me? I feel like even when he tried to get back with me, if I told him no, and then we finally get to a place where we want to date again, y'all should see what I set up for him. Like, I went to go get a hotel. He loved Pretty Ricky. I'm putting a Pretty Ricky on. He liked these movies. I'm gonna get these movies. I put the roses in the bed. I had his bath water started. I had the petals in the tub. Like, I'm a fan of love. I love love. It's just the way, like I said, the way the guy on the video articulated it, it sounded like he was coming from a place of hurt. And that's what probably made women standoffish, because you talking about the bearded combs, but these three women that you're claiming to be your Valentine have nothing to do with your past. You feel me? So it's like, that's what made it, I think, standoffish.
Yeah. Somebody said you put some lotion on them feet first before you start rubbing.
I did. Yes, I did. You always need lotion.
Whole lot of friction going on there.
I'm not gonna be touching y'all feet. I'll hire someone. We can go get a pedicure.
I used to real love is rubbing their feet.
Dude's feet though.
Real love.
Everybody's feet aren't.
That's wild.
Everybody's feet ain't up to par.
Hold tight. I got this one little.
Oh.
I'm just gonna play one of the guys off this Pop the Balloon episode, man. I had just kind of took a glance at it, and I just was kind of caught off guard off the first one. But I'm just going to just run it through it, just kind of react to that, and then get up out of here. Squeezy last week. Abraham Lacey, $5. First day should be questions on personality only. Don't be digging. So I think I read that one already. Big Ant, $11 says, I don't know what the hell Viz or he talking about. I ain't getting you a damn thing. We equal, remember? If I don't require anything, then you don't need anything. I thought you didn't need me.
That boy hurt.
Let me just run this right quick, y'all.
Of you and see why you ended up popping. Are we ready, ladies? Yes. All right. So with that being said, let's go ahead and bring out our first single guy. Hello, welcome in. What's your name?
I'm Alan.
Alan?
Yes.
How old are you?
35.
And what do you do?
I'm a truck driver.
Okay. Now, what are some things you like to do for fun?
I like to travel, go out to eat, read, gain knowledge, go for long walks.
Okay, all right. What are some things you look for in a woman?
Someone soft, nice, caring, great personality.
Okay.
Things.
Ladies, real quick now, with that voice, are you guys expecting a little bit more masculine voice? Ladies, no. So his voice is cool.
I don't have a problem with the voice.
Interesting. That was definitely the first thing that I noticed. Like he's speaking extremely softly, but in like almost a falsetto. You know,
He
this
makes me feel very comfortable. I will say that.
I feel like that's a green flag to me.
I'm gonna go ahead and play.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to kind of. So whenever I stop it, just give like little brief things so we can get through it.
To that.
Got it. Now, what are some of your deal breakers?
Just communication.
You said.
Hold on, she did say she don't like bald heads, but when somebody like, are you guys expecting a little bit more when somebody's general like that? Because when I first heard it when she said banking, I'm like, okay, that can mean anything. Like, what do you mean you into banking?
I'm not sure, because if you're a banker, you're gonna say I'm a banker. You're gonna say
okay.
I was thinking the same thing, bank teller.
All right, let me damn, did I skip past it? She go right here.
Something there. Okay.
No, not at all.
All right. And now is she someone that's your type?
Yeah, she's very pretty. I like her bracelets and necklace.
Thank you.
Nice smile.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's go on over here. Your name and age.
Hi, my name is Jessie. I'm 28 years old.
And Jessie, what do you do?
Hey, when people hear that pop,
it was random as hell too.
I'm currently a medical student, but prior to that, I was working in special education for 3 years.
It's very pretty.
Thank you.
Your name and age.
Hi, my name's Jessica. I'm 28.
And Jessica, what do you do?
I am currently a nurse and I do real estate.
Right. And why'd you end up popping your balloon?
Honestly, it's the bald head. Because listen, my stepdad is bald and he was mean.
Nah, I don't see anything wrong with it. If you don't like bald heads, you don't like bald heads. I'd rather you say you don't like it than to try to go on a date, even though a lot of people he could be a quality man, but if it's something you're not gonna deal with or want to deal with all the time, then it's just not compatible. So I don't see no problem when they say that they don't like hair. Same way if men don't like makeup, they just don't like it.
And I just don't talk to bald heads anymore. Like I was.
Okay, but he seems nice though.
He seems like a sweetheart, but you seem like somebody that I could walk over, and I don't like. I like my man more dominant and like, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I'm sorry. Yeah, but you cute though.
Thank you.
Just not my type, baby.
Okay. Thanks.
Is she someone that's your type?
Yeah, she's pretty.
Thank you.
I'll definitely approach her.
Thank you.
Thank you. Name and age.
I'm Gabrielle and I'm 34.
Gabrielle, what do you do?
I'm a marriage and family therapist and an author.
And why'd you end up popping your balloon?
Honestly, it's the career. Truck drivers, I don't know. I just feel like it's like a lifestyle thing that I'm just not here for. So, yeah.
What is it about the lifestyle?
I mean, I think just more like, obviously I don't know exactly how your specific schedule is, but just kind of being gone on the road a lot and things like that. I just feel like it would be difficult for a relationship.
Well, that's the ladies that question too. Is truck driver job, but you could say that's a deal breaker for a lot of women?
I have had 3 friends whose husbands were truck drivers and they were all cheating.
And driver, and we had. I just found out that I have a older brother in LA. Okay, I don't know about it.
They're notorious. I swear.
He was in the military. He was a Marine, and then when he retired, he started driving trucks. So I also have a half brother in Japan as well. But let me just tell you, I don't. That's for that reason. Truck drivers, everybody I know that drives trucks is cheating. Like, because you're never home. You literally work over the road.
They are attention deprived because they're sitting there alone all the time. They're in different cities. They can get away with it.
So I have 2 friends that date truck drivers, and they take their girls on the road with them. Like, they'll set the truck up real nice. It's a big truck, and they like, I don't know. And they got married early because I'm only 33, but the 2 friends I know are younger than me. They're younger than 30, but the guy is probably like around my age. And they take their girls on the road with them. Like they be having like lunch dates, and she be sitting there. One dude got like a TV in the truck, and she be playing the game while they be on the road. When she was pregnant and she took her maternity leave, she went with him a lot. I think, and then
Is
there's
it
a such
because she
thing as
can't
local
trust
truck.
him if he doesn't?
I think it's a such thing as local truck driving too. So, well,
So
I
then,
don't.
so then, would you guys say that the truck drivers is in the same? It's in the same boat as flight attendants,
Pilots. Yeah.
pilots, like engineers on the train. So they all on the same thing. Police officers, same thing. Okay. Let me go ahead and get into a little bit more of this video.
Yeah. Has that ever been a problem for you in past relationships?
No, as long as we communicate, you know, I can make time to travel, come see you, or fly you out to come see me, or leave the country.
Yeah, I'll still pass, but thank you.
All right, sorry.
Now she's someone that's your type.
Yeah, she's very pretty.
Thank you.
I was sitting there thinking, man, he's saying she's a little mixed with a little some another race. He was trying to, he wanted to get her balloon back.
All right, your name and age.
Hi, my name is Vanessa. I'm 35.
And Vanessa, what do you do?
I'm a realtor and a flight attendant.
And why did you end up popping your balloon?
I waited quite a while because I wanted to hear more about what he said when he said that communication was a big factor. You know, it's been nice.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So
Hey,
go ahead.
I was gonna say, and I think this goes back to the point of what Marcus was saying yesterday and the week before of getting experience with women, because simply with this man, he appears to be a large man in stature, right? He's nervous. Look how he's holding the microphone. The majority of the time when they were first talking to him, he was rocking his arm. You know, nothing is he has this imposing figure, but he's extremely soft, right? He talks soft. His mannerisms are extremely soft, and that off point, fellas, every time, all day, every day, that is going to be a turnoff. Because just like this woman stated, I feel like I can walk over you, even though she's 6 inches shorter than him. She knows that I can say whatever I want to you, and you just gonna be like, okay, I'm sorry, you know. So I to that point, I agree with what Marcus and what Hink was saying. I agree with all that part. But this is an exact example of a man not having experience in front of women. Because if you do, then you understand how to be, how to stand, how to carry yourself, especially when women are choosing. Because regardless if he was bald or not, if he would have been more imposing, they all would have kept their balloons, regardless if they like bald men or not.
All right, here we go. Hey, Viz, you say he's pretty large stature?
Oh, no, he looked like he was, maybe, yeah, because he definitely almost towering over everybody except this chick right here to the right.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Hi, my name is Patience, and
I
I'm
would
20.
assume he is. I would assume he's at least 5'10" and up.
Okay. All right.
Yes. What would it be, and who would the?
I could tell she's been.
Creeped out.
I could tell she's been paying attention to like what's been going on. She's trying to see if he's toxic or not.
Say that again.
Who would be the guest speaker? Like, who would you have on it, and why?
The podcast would basically be based on just current life events and what's going on in the community today. Pretty much, I would probably hire somebody, a professional to be my speaker.
Okay.
Or I could just be myself.
Okay. Sounds good.
You good? Okay.
Do you like to travel, like out the country?
So, I mean, I'm in the military, so I will be traveling. Honestly, I don't travel much. I'm waiting to like share that experience with whoever I do end up with. I've actually never really been in a relationship before, so like I'm saving it for whoever my future person is.
It was when I heard that, I was like, what? She said she's saving herself to experience it with somebody. And it sounds like she may be a virgin. So she might be a virgin. Says she's never been in a relationship.
I mean, he might come
And that's
up.
the reason why everybody else pop their balloons.
Let's see.
He's the gym trying to get it.
If I can say this real quick, because I was paying attention to the comments too. So, fellas, what I'm saying is that you don't have to go in there looking like a thug and yeah. You don't have to do all of that, right? There's a really amazing book called The Art of Seduction by Robert Greene. Fellas, go pick up the book. If you're a more laid back man, you can still command the room in that role of who you are. All it is simply standing straight. You holding on to the microphone. Woo. You're not doing all of this, and you know what I'm saying. And you got like what? No, man, you don't have to do that. All you got to do is. Hey, come on, man. Hey, come on, man. Hey, I'm trying to teach right now. I'm
gonna have his way with you. The Gucci gonna have his way with you.
What is it you're trying to teach, Biz?
But that's what dude was doing, though. You know what I'm saying? That's what my man's was doing. We all just saw him doing
that
it.
bad from him. Like,
JR, make sure you edit that out. Make sure you edit that out, JR.
Oh, look, all that I'm saying is your confidence says everything. And I guarantee you, if he would have been more confident, a lot of those women that pop their balloons would not have done that. Confidence is key. Confidence is everything. Not only when you're amongst women, but when you're conducting business, when you're out in the streets, wherever it is. If you exalt confidence, then people are going to immediately respect you. It don't have shit to do with you being loud or thugged out or none of that shit. He could be the same exact person who he is, but if he's confident, shoulders back, chest out, come on, man. These are basic rules of being a man and controlling the room when you walk in.
So yeah, but Viz, you saying that he's making that adjustment. He's going to have to do it on a daily routine, and he's going to eventually go back to default. And that's not who he is. So now you asking a man to change. He's probably been like this for over 30-something years, right? If that's how he's been. He was like that as a kid. He grew up. He matured. He became a man like this. It's going to be hard for that change to going to come over. But guess what happened, Viz? This man found a woman who's okay with him being a soft-spoken, laid back, don't mind his schedule. There's a lot of beautiful women out here in this world, and there's way more women than men. So there's going to be somebody for him. The option's going to be there for him. He just got to find the right one. Now, most men, you got to be willing on working and finding and doing the work to find the right one. If you want to be lazy and just try to do, you may try to fix something here and there, but it's going to be a temporary thing. It's not going to be something permanent. Find something that's going to be permanent. It's going to like you for you. She likes that man from who he is. She was okay with him. His choice of life. He didn't have no kids. She said, "I'm saving myself to travel with my man, with my husband, with my person." Hey, man, she seemed like she's a pretty good catch.
And
so far, I mean, now
rejection too.
All right, hold tight, y'all. Hold tight. I'm about to play the rest of this so we can get up out here.
I'm waiting to like share that experience with whoever I do end up with. I've actually never really been in a relationship before, so like I'm saving it for whoever my future person is.
Okay. I have no complaints.
Okay. I do have one more question.
Okay, go for it, go for it.
Sorry. Do you think that women should shoot their shot if they're interested in someone?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so if you're free later today, would you like to go on a date with me?
Go back to the little shimmy, man. Go back to the shimmy, JR.
Should shoot their shot if they're interested in someone?
Yeah, absolutely.
Straighten it up. That's
All right,
not
let's
gonna
bring
happen.
out our next
That's him.
single guy.
Hey, Hank, by all
Right now in my life, I'm looking for a relationship, someone to build something with. Qualities I
You
look
think you
for:
got confidence?
I think the other dude had
humbleness,
more confidence than him.
self-awareness,
I feel like
that's
he
confidence,
has.
that's wild as hell
kindness.
that you would say that.
One, because of
He's
how he took
sitting
the
there right
rejections.
now.
One, because of how he took the rejections. Two, how he continued to be himself. I'm pretty sure, like he said, being that type of man in this type of world, people probably judge you a lot. But he still came in there swagged out. Hey, you cool, you pretty, you still my type. Most men that, like, you could fake how confidence look, like how you said, you could come in there back straight and everything, but as soon as those type of men get rejected, they instantly be like, well, you ain't that cute anyway, and look at your toes, and you feel me, he seems soft, but just because you're soft though doesn't mean you're not confident. You get what I'm trying
No,
to say?
that you can't fake confidence.
But what you said,
A confident man isn't going to attack a woman because she rejected him.
exactly.
That's not what confident men do.
But I said
So
how he took his confidence. I said how he took his rejection. He literally was not like, as they were telling him about himself, you could tell he was not fazed because he is confident in who he is. He know he's soft spoken.
or he's used to being turned down.
I don't know. I didn't get that bad.
I mean, well,
I feel like most men who
men
I
and
feel
women
like
see things differently, for sure,
yeah,
without a doubt.
yeah,
To me,
yeah.
I mean, he seems like he can, like
I feel like he dodged bullets
potentially
by
he's
being himself.
potentially a cool guy. I'm pretty sure he might be a catch, but from what I saw, he seems to be kind of a pushover. You know, even when the young lady was talking to him, she led the conversation. She was asking the questions. She asked him, "What you doing after this?" And all he did was, "Yeah, I do. Yup. Okay." So guess what? If that woman, and it makes sense if she's in the military, because military women are very direct for the most part, especially if their career, they're going to be direct. They're going to want a yes or no or whatever the case may be. So if he's going to fall in line with it, then hey, go for it all day, bro, if that works for you. All that I'm saying is, fellas, if you want the top pick, if you still want that modest woman just like that, but you also want to be in your role of as a man, then yeah, follow these simple guidelines of manhood. That's all that I'm saying. But you can be whoever the fuck you want to. Somebody is gonna like it. But are you gonna get the results that you want from it?
So I've
That's all.
told men this on my page. If you're being rejected by a lot of women, sometimes that's probably a good thing, depending on the women you're going after, because most women ain't shit. Most basic women are just not shit. They're not looking for, like, a lot of their reasons for like cutting him off and stuff like that had to do with childhood trauma. But let a fine light-skinned dude from one of the Tyler Perry movies walk in there with a bald head, 3 inches taller, like you said, with his shoulders back and having a certain thing, they would have overlooked that bald head. You know what I'm saying? It's just certain women, you don't want to be attracted to the I feel like if you're a quality man, you don't want to just keep attracting basic women. That's how I feel. You're gonna want to attract something different. Like, I don't want to attract most men, like, because most men, just the average men in America, they just, the way they think, how they care, it's just not always good. You just don't always, it's not about quantity, it's about quality. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, yeah, most of them pop their balloon, but it seemed like you got a woman of quality to me.
A quality man is going to get a wide assortment of women. He's going to get top quality women and poor quality women. They're all going to shoot their shot. It's on that man to choose which woman it is that he wants to entertain. And that's the advantage that a man would have if he just simply followed those simple guidelines. That's all that I'm saying.
Yeah, but just be
Yeah,
careful
but
how
you
y'all
know,
market
no,
yourselves because y'all gonna get what y'all
there's a,
asked for.
there's a saying that too many options is not always a good thing for people. Certain individuals cannot handle too many options. They get confused, they get lost, they make bad decisions because of all these options. A lot of ladies may have a lot of options because they get a lot of DMs. But you know, Viz, you saying this, but that's the same thing we would tell the women. You know, hey, well, why are you thinking just because you get certain attention don't mean that's always the best attention or good attentions. You know what I'm saying? He was more laid back. He was more but guess what? He found that right woman that was cool with it. Just like a hoe could get a husband. They be like, man, how does hoe get a husband? Yeah, she found the right dude. He might have been a walkover, a floor mat, but she found the right dude. Just like he found the right woman. This woman was willing. She even said, she even slick a little dish in. I'm not a follower. I'm not going to follow with whatever they say. Because every last one of them said something about his bald head. She was okay with his bald head. She was okay because he was kind of quiet and not demonstrative and more laid back and seemed somewhat sensitive. You know what I'm saying? Because he spoke on communication and all of that. He seemed like it. Now, he also seemed like the type of man she say, what you want for dinner? He going to say, well, whatever you want, baby. Yeah, he's not going to sit there and take initiative and say, yeah, well, we going to Cracker Barrel. No, he's not going to do that. He going to say, whatever you like. This type of man he seemed like he's going to do. And she going to be okay with it. Like you said, she's a military woman. She believes in taking charge, and she will take charge in a relationship when she needs to.
Hey,
He had on Tim's and a chain. He has a hard side to him. That's all I'm saying.
And I think the woman who was just like, it looked like I'll walk over you. He looking like, bitch, I'm not trying to argue with you anyway. I'm not entertaining no hoe.
I'm just saying. I don't know. Don't let the soft boys fool you. That's all I'm saying.
And you know what's funny? My brother is in a relationship and his girlfriend told me, and they've been in a relationship for a few years now. She said, I've never heard him raise his voice. Like, my brother is very, very soft spoken. But when he is upset and he wants something done, he come out like when I tell you, because he was raised in a house full of women, he hear us bickering, and he's my little brother. He comes out and he just stand there and look. And everybody just like, okay, it's time for us to shut up. We doing too much. It's just some people are just soft spoken. Even when he in public, like he got like a little hunch. They say he look a lot like Obama, but he don't stand like straight either. He just be like, you know, and I feel like if you try to imitate what the average man is, you might be attracted to somebody that's not your type. And now you got to deal with this woman that you got to tame, and you're not even entertaining women. You want a woman that's already tamed in her place. Even the girl said it, like she might be a little straightforward, but she said, I'm not a follower, but I'm looking to follow my man. You know what I'm saying? So she probably seen things about him that most women ain't gonna see, or most men ain't gonna see. But if you try to tailor yourself to what the majority wants, you'll end up missing out what's for you.
But look, man,
Listen,
she did what she was supposed to do. She took charge. She realized opposites attract, and they are totally opposite from one another. She's more aggressive, attaboy type woman, and he's more laid back, cool, calm, and collective. They attracted each other. Why? Because they the opposite. Look, she said, do you mind if a woman shoots your shot? And guess what she did? Right after she said no, she shot her shot. Did what she had to do. He was okay with that. Why? Because he's more laid back. He's hoping a woman shoot a shot at him instead of him going to the woman. He was okay with that. They gonna be a perfect match. I promise. It's gonna be a perfect match.
Excited, man. He got excited.
Love is love.
Love is
love.
Hank, realistically, how long do you think that's gonna work?
With his type personality, it's gonna last. It's gonna last a while. He doesn't. He look again. He's gonna cater to her. He's gonna be the one, like you said, Vince. He's gonna make sure he's gonna have a Valentine's gift for every Valentine's. He ain't gonna be looking for nothing. He gonna always be looking for her. That's gonna be right.
All right, let me go ahead and close us out, man. We can chill in the back chat. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Make sure you hit the like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Thank y'all, and we are out.